Hello, hello. So I'll request your kind attention for 2 minutes. In case any of you all need a Wi-Fi, we have the credentials on screen. You guys can please use the username and password and log in. So you have to select the SPJIMR Wi-Fi when you sort of turn it on, and then enter the username and password. So username is cfi.guest, all in small caps. Password is spjcfi@October 2023, where S is capital. If any of you all still face any network issues, please feel free to reach out to us. So requesting your kind attention for 2 minutes. In case there's anybody who's not yet connected to the Wi-Fi, it'll be my request to kindly join the network. It'll help us in the smooth functioning of the event because we can be requiring internet at certain point in time for scoring and other purposes. You have the credentials right on the screen. Just for the ease of it, I'll repeat it, that you have to go to the Wi-Fi settings, look for the SPJIMR Wi-Fi, and you have to enter the username and password. The username is cfi.guest, cfi.guest. And you can see the password. It is spjcfi@oct23, where S is capital. Check. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, investors, partners, and my dear friends, a very warm welcome to the much anticipated demo day of the Finovate Accelerator and the Mumbai Roadshow of the Sunil Bhatia Startup Hub here at SPJIMR, Mumbai. I welcome you all. We are thrilled to have you all today with us. My name is Ojas Agrawal, and I am truly honored to be your host for this exceptional event. Today, we are here to witness the culmination of hard work, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit as our first cohort of startups pitch their groundbreaking ideas to a room filled with venture capitalists, family offices, HNIs, angel investors, and our corporate partners. But before we dive into this exciting showcase of innovation and entrepreneurship, I would like to call upon Mr. Manoj Mohan, Executive Director at the Center for Financial Innovation here at SPJIMR, who has been instrumental in launching the Finovate initiative. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Manoj Mohan to walk you through the journey of Finovate.
Hi. Good morning, and thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure to walk you through what we have for today. Many of you have been part of Finovate for some time. Some of you are new, hearing for the first time. So for the sake of clarity, I want to take 10 minutes to kind of give an overview of what we are doing and how things have spanned out. So just to give you a background, I head the Center for Financial Innovation. Now, under the Center for, so Finovate Accelerator and Sunil Bhatia Startup Hub is one of the 3 initiatives under Center for Financial Innovation. At Center for Financial Innovation, we focus on working with different stakeholders to further the financial innovation agenda. And as part of that, we have 3 initiatives. We call it innovation, insights, and education. As with all being a startup-like culture, the PPT is not working. But we will improvise. Hopefully, I'm able to still give you a reasonable walkthrough. Under the innovation vertical, we have Sunil Bhatia Startup Hub. Sunil is here. So Sunil's generous commitment, Sunil is an alumnus of SPJIMR 88 batch, and his generous commitment of over 10 crore has actually given heft to the entire startup initiatives that we had planned, which largely were on the drawing board till Sunil came on board. Now, Sunil Bhatia Startup Hub is a larger horizontal initiative which focuses on working with startups from pre-incubation, incubation, and acceleration. We're not an incubator, but we do a series of events by building a community, a grant infrastructure, and educational programming which allows startups to improve and further. Now, as part of the Sunil Bhatia Startup Hub, while we were building it, we also looked around the startup ecosystem, and all of you are very familiar with there are 300 plus incubators in this country. But time has come for acceleration, and there aren't too many accelerators. In fact, government is itself trying to push and promote the whole acceleration journey with the incubators that have taken DST funding. So that's where Finovate comes into picture. So, like I said, 3 verticals: innovation, education, and insights. So Finovate is a pure accelerator program, 4-month program. Sunil Bhatia Startup Hub is a round-the-year activity. We have right now launched our month-long finance and tech bootcamp called Convergence. The second half of the day is for a lot of workshops related to that. In addition to that, CFI also looks at education. While we were dealing with our stakeholders, and our stakeholders are banks, insurance companies, investors, startups, basically BFSI plus startups, we realized that there is a huge amount of demand for a very practitioner, hands-on oriented fintech program. That's why we've launched the postgraduate executive program in fintech, which actually the key 2 hallmarks of the program is: 1, any person who's participating in the program gets an opportunity to work with startups. And startups community of practitioner increases. Every practitioner there gets a real-time cultural feel of what is to work with startups. It's probably the only program in the country with the highest in-person component. Most of the fintech programs in the country run all online, and that's about it. Here we have 6 days where the participants fly into Bombay campus and physically actually sit with each other and build a community, their own close community of fintech experts in the country. So that's our program. And the last, while we were building the CFI, we realized that what happens after you engage with CFI and move away, whether it's a startup, whether it's a program, what happens after that? Because financial innovation is not stopping for anybody. And today, if you look at it, everybody gets in their inbox tons of newsletters. Most of them are from, what's happening, which startup has raised funding, what has Paytm done, so on and so forth. There are different types of updates coming, or deep sectoral reports coming. So we have come out with an insights platform, which is very unique, and in fact, in the whole education circuit, there is a huge amount of intellectual capital sitting in the various research reports, whether it's from Harvard, Wharton's, IIM, SPJ, and so on and so forth, which is outside the purview of people in the real world. We take many of these high-quality research and create a practitioner-translated version, which is very quick, very easy, where with a quick takeaway of what you want to know, which is right at the edge of innovation. That's our Finovate Insights. We are coming out with our first journal in December this year. The website is already live and running. You can just figure out some of the articles that is there. So put together between innovation, which is our Accelerator and Startup Hub, the education program, and Finovate Insights, CFI wants to play a very active role as a thought leader when it comes to innovation and finance. That's the simple thing we are working towards. And coming down to Finovate, just to give you a quick journey of what has transpired in the last 4 months while you're here. Somewhere around March 23 is when Finovate program was conceptualized in partnership with Mumbai Angels. And then we quickly enhanced the idea, worked it and workshopped it, and we had more corporate partners joining on board, starting with HDFC Bank, ICICI Prudential, Federal, SBI, so on and so forth. Then applications were opened sometime in 2-3 months from there. We received over 200 applications for our first cohort, of which 12 startups were selected. These are the 12 startups who will be doing the demo pitch today. Over the last 4 months, these startups have gone through a couple of things, which is what makes the program unique. They've had about 40 hours of educational exposure. I want to call it educational exposure, not a classroom, because we don't run classrooms here. These are run like a case study, hands-on oriented workshops focused on customer discovery. All these startups are between seed and Series A in terms of evolution. Their MVP is already operationalized. Most of them have a monthly run rate also sitting behind. You would have already seen a snapshot, and the brochure is there with you already. So for these startups, the key aspect for them was to sharpen their customer discovery. They're fully equipped to scale up when they get into their Series A funding and onwards. So that has happened. Along with the customer discovery workshops, they've also got exposure to financing aspects, legal aspects, product aspects, and go-to-market strategy. Sitting alongside is our unique mentor network of almost 30 plus CXO network. Some of the mentors have joined here. These mentors have taken time out of their time of running different businesses to spend time with the startup. And I'll let the startups speak for themselves, but it has helped them fine-tune some of the assumptions, question some of the assumptions they've worked out, and make it better. And the third thing is, Finovate program is a very program focused on enterprise connect in a deep way. We like to play the matchmaking role when it comes to enterprises. That's the reason we have built Connect with all the large banks in the country. And many of these banks have looked at some of these startups as from an enterprise B2B network perspective. So that's what has happened in the last 4 months. Today is the culmination phase of it. This is what we call as a fundraiser round. There are 3 parts to the fundraiser round. Today is the demo day, which is effectively an elevator pitch. Some rules and guidelines of what happens today is, all of you have joined as one of the 5 panels we have today. We have the 5 panels we have are angel networks, venture capitalist firms, family office and HNI, corporate investors, and enterprise sales. Now, each of you will get, after every third pitch that is done, the pitches are run for 10 minutes. We haven't kept a Q&A owing to paucity of time because we have to run through 13 startups. After every third pitch, you will receive a link on your WhatsApp. It is a real-time scoring. You can see as each of you vote and score it, the scores are generated. And at the end of the 13 pitches, we will award the best 3 pitches. Now, the purpose of this is predominantly to help you decide which of the startups you hear today are the ones you want to actively consider investing. So in your folder, there is a sheet with the color pink. You just have to elect which of the startups do you want to go for round 2. Like I said, it's a 3-stage fundraiser round. This is stage 1. In stage 2, what happens is between now and November 15th, over consecutive weekends, between 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., 2 startup pitches per day, we will be sending out an online invite and you will receive invite for the startups that you have elected to go to for round 2. After that, you get to decide, do you want to get into a term sheet stage? Now, we will start stepping back from there. It's between you and the founder. And if the founder needs it, we will help with putting together the syndicate. That's the fundraiser round. The whole program ends by November 15th. So once again, thank you all for being here. It's a privilege and honor to have you. And without much ado, I want to hand over to get the startup pitch process going onward. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj, for outlining the Finovate journey. Finovate works in conjunction with the Sunil Bhatia Startup Hub. And we are grateful to have Sunil sir grace the occasion for us today. His passion and commitment keeps motivating us to take CFI to the next level. Can we please have a huge round of applause for sir? Now, without further ado, let's get to the heart of the matter. It's time to hear from the stars of today's show, our 13 incredible startups who are ready to impress you with their innovative solutions. Each startup will have about 10 minutes to pitch their ideas. Given the paucity of time, we are compelled to stick strictly to the schedule. So we would give a gentle reminder after 8 minutes have lapsed to let you know that the remaining 2 minutes are all that you have. I request all the founders to kindly adhere to the 10-minute deadline as a hard stop. So let's get started. I'd like to invite our first startup, New Cash, Ashit and his team. Please give them a huge round of applause.
Is it on? Yeah. Cool. Good morning, everyone. It's a very exciting atmosphere here. to see all the team members. I call ourselves the team of 13. It's a World Cup season, so there should be some analogy about cricket. But very privileged to be here. Opening the innings is very important for any team to win. And for us, we all need to win. It's not about how I perform or how my team performs, or individually New Cash performs. It's the cohort, and we are the first cohort. I would like to express my gratitude, first of all, to the Institute, SPJIMR. I think it's a very altruistic initiative by the Institute. It's unheard of in the industry, so thanks to you guys. I'd also like to thank Manoj and the team by putting such a phenomenal program together in a very short period of time. And anything you do for the first time is extremely difficult. I can tell you because this is my first startup. So I think for Manoj, it's his own startup as well. I am Ashish Joshi. I'm the founder of New Cash, and we are here to simplify finance and financial access for college students. Before I get into the problem and the solution, if you guys do not mind, can I get a show of hands of anyone who has opened a bank account online or had someone come into their home or an office to open a bank account? Please keep the hands raised, because the next question is, how many of you have used an ATM in the last 90 days? Okay. Keep your hands raised if you had taken a loan, and the loan, you either applied for a loan online or someone came to your home and gave you the loan. Okay? Now, all the individuals who have the hands raised, how many of you have your average bank balance less than 2,000 rupees? Oops, all hands are down. This is what we are serving. We are serving the majority of the audience, which is a student, whose average bank balance is 2,000 rupees. That is the future of the nation, but they are struggling to get themselves funded. The financial institutions who should be there to support them, help them with education, are the ones who are not ready to serve them. Anyone who got a privileged service when they had someone come into their home to open a bank account or give you a loan is because you have money in your account. What we are serving is the students who do not have money in their account, but they are the future of the country. Now, jump into the problem. I'll tell you a story of a student who comes from a very small town in Bihar. The eldest son, father has a very low income. He got admission into a college, a private college. Brilliant student, but he couldn't pay for the tuition. It took him 3 months to get his loan funded. That's the struggle that a student goes through. And that's not just a small struggle. They go through 3 or 4 applications, and the same exact thing submitted by him across multiple banks, multiple lenders says, hey, can I get a loan? I want to get educated. Education is a priority sector lending, but the institutions are not ready to support that because there is skepticism. It's not his fault or the institution's fault. It's the ecosystem problem. The same student ended up getting an internship at New Cash, and now he's a full-time employee, one of the smartest engineers on my team. But he had to struggle to get his first loan application processed and approved. Why? Because he did not come from the top elite college. Because folks who are from the banking industry, they know that they have their own risks that they need to mitigate because they are the custodian of the deposits, the cash, and they cannot just disburse loans to anyone. So they only serve the top tier colleges. Now you see there is a huge disconnect between where our students are, where they come from, and where the banks are feeling comfortable to lend to those students. Why? Because they had 9% NPAs in 2022. It takes them thousands of rupees to source a good lead, a student who can borrow and pay for the loans. And they have a transactional relationship with these students exactly because student just comes to them to take a loan, and once they get the money, they go away. Where do they go? They go to a Google Pay or a Phone Pay to start spending. But what the industry is solving for is the payment problem, when payment is not a problem. It's commoditized. Everyone is focused on how to make payments simplified. We are focused on how to help a student get educated, and for that, they need financial resources. So imagine if the same student, Aditya, who could go to New Cash, submit one application, and New Cash takes the journey forward on behalf of them, works with multiple lenders, and say, hey, IDFC, ICICI, HDFC, there is a student who has gone through the KYC, who has gone through all the validation. He wants to get a loan. Can you please facilitate a loan for him? What we do is we remove stress from a student's financial needs for their education. That's what New Cash does. What we bring for the bank and the lenders is a non-transactional relationship, because this student is on the New Cash platform, not just to take a loan. They come to the New Cash platform, they open a bank account with us, fully digital, 100%. They do not need to have a 5,000 rupee or 2,000 rupee minimum balance to open an account on New Cash. They open a New Cash account because we bring it to them for free, 100% digital. The same student does not want to go to an ATM because they are using a payment solution on New Cash. We bring a long-term relationship to the bank that the banks traditionally never had access to. We bring an engaged student on New Cash platform, and we bring you insight and data point that is beyond your current underwriting rules. That's the power of the New Cash platform. Let me give you a quick demo of what the product is. And by the way, this product is ready and live, 80% of it. Please go ahead. To go. Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. We have traction. We launched a product public in May. We got 10,000 bank accounts open, and we spent 25 rupees to acquire a student. That's the power of virality and referral. We have 16,000 plus students on the wait list wanting to open an account. That is not it. We are also launching our lending product, and we were able to successfully close 2 lending partners on the banking side, IDFC and ICIC, in 24 hours through the power of Finovate. We have 2 other lenders on the private sector. We are helping students with upskilling and reskilling so that they can be, their jobs, they can be marketable, or they can switch their career if they're interested in. So we have the MOU signed. We have 3 institutional partners who are into upskilling business. We have signed up with them, and we are expanding. One of the institute is the top upskilling company who's associated with NSDC. They are educating and upskilling 60,000 students. So we have just started the journey. The engines are built, we have tested the waters on the engine, and they're ready to accelerate. Population size, I think the student population is bigger than the population of Bangladesh. So there is a lot of demand. There is a lot of opportunity for us. I'm not going to get into the specific numbers, but we've just started a journey. My background, I spent 19 years in the US. I was a founding member of Check.com, educational startup, happened to see a successful exit after an 11 years journey. Went to Altruist, which was a fintech startup. It's a Sunicorn. I have some phenomenal team members. We consider ourselves to be the experience company. We have Margot, she's our head of design and product, is a power of the brand, the design that makes it unique, and simplified experience that makes it special for the user. We started the journey in 2021 March. We are in October. We're about to launch our lending product, which simplifies loan and lending access to the students. Very lean team. It's been bootstrapped by me. I do not have any external investors because I believe in building something before going and asking for money. We believe we are ready. We have the engines ready. The engines have been tested. We are waiting for the right amount of fuel so we can accelerate. When you look at the competition, people usually compare us to Jupiter, FI, SBI, but we are unique because what we bring to the table is the power of the student, the referral network, and the engaged audience that no one else brings for anyone in any of the platform. We're the one-stop shop for students to get all their financial needs for their education. Fundraising goals, I have bootstrapped the company with $1.5 million of my own investment. We still have about $240,000 left. We have runway for at least 10 more months. What we need is support from folks like you who are going to be a part of the journey with us. As I said, the engines are ready. We just need to make sure we have the right amount of fuel so that we can accelerate the growth. This month is the revenue month for us, and we are going to start producing revenue because we already have 5 leads in the pipeline for the loan application. So if the first loan gets that disbursed, we will be in money. We are looking at raising $1.5 million, and you will see majority of the investment is going towards sales and marketing and brand and promotion. All my investment has gone towards product development. So technology is ready, product is ready. We just need to accelerate. And it's all going to come through our distribution partners. We are actively seeking distribution partners as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashit. Now, from student financing, we move to escrow accounts. And I have Vouch, co-founded by Krishna, Nitin, Anupam, and Pawan. So let us hear from them. Can you give him a round of applause?
Sure. Feels like a digital probe in some neurological evaluation is attached to my head. Never had one of these things before. But good morning, fantastic, amazing audience here. I see that everyone's clapping as well, so a lot of high energy in the room. I'm Krishna, co-founder of Vouch. In Kaun Banega Crorepati, Amitabh Bachchan, when you are stumped for answer for a question, gives you 3 powers. One power is audience poll, 50-50, and phone a friend. My friend Ashit here has already exhausted the audience poll option. Now I'm contemplating whether I should use the audience poll, but so what I'll do is I'll take the 4th power, I'll narrate a personal story. 3 years ago, I paid 8 lakh rupees to a Director General of Civil Aviation established registered company called Heli Taxi to charter a helicopter ride to airdrop flowers onto a temple inauguration ceremony. 8 lakh rupees I paid. This company was already ferrying CXOs between Bangalore's tech hubs and Bangalore International Airport. It was supposed to come to a place called Rajahmundry in Andhra Pradesh. They took the money, they never showed up. 3 years later, I have spent 3.5 lakh rupees trying to recover that money that I actually paid them, and no sign of it. I've used every rule in the book and off the book to recover that money. Money is gone. Now, if you reflect on your own experiences in your life, that purchase, that pair of shoes that you bought, or this interior design contract that you actually gave, or this advance that you paid for whatever, a car or a home, you'll see that there is a lot of payment anxiety and a lot of payment uncertainty. पैसा दे दिया, जो मुझे मिलना था वो मिला ही नहीं. जब मेरे पास आया है, वो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि सर आपको शायद गलत फहमी हो गई है, ये ऐसे ही है, सर आपका डिजाइन ऐसा ही था. So in India, consumers are shortchanged all the time. Yesterday, my colleague Anupam here, who heads business for us, made a hotel booking where the promise was that you have to pay only at the property at the time of check-in. But 12 hours before he checks in, his card is already charged and the hotel has actually collected the money for the booking. What does it tell you? That your money, there is nobody that gives you a safe environment to actually transact. Now, if I contrast the same time I lived in the US, today Amazon versus the direct-to-consumer brands, the split is 25% is Amazon share, and the remaining 75% is direct brands. I don't know these brands, but I still go ahead, will make a payment because a Visa or a MasterCard network will actually facilitate a chargeback and refund me, meaning I can safely transact. Today, in online e-commerce in India, 70% of e-commerce is still cash on delivery. Why? Because nobody trusts that somebody else will take care of their payments. If that 80% of freelancers don't get paid on time, 40% of them lose their money. And 55% of real estate projects, these are only the ones that are tracked, the ones that run in the shadows, we don't know about them. And you should know this, that the amount of TDS, GST, PF, ESI fraud, that was deducted from your paycheck and actually not even remitted to the government is phenomenal and runs into thousands of crores. Now, we saw that this is an opening, and Nitin and I were freelancers. We said freelancers is where the market is. So we launched the first app, which is a peer-to-peer app, runs today, extremely powerful. If you are making a 1,000 rupee purchase from someone that you don't know today, you can download our app, send 1,000 rupees to them and say this will be released to you only when you have met your obligation or whatever you're delivered. So Vouch is an escrow platform. We call it purchase protection that holds the money till the buyer and seller have completed their respective roles in the transaction. So let me give you a demo of how this happens. Please play the demo. It's always a tough act to follow that kind of music. But anyway, so this is the first thing that we launched. Today, because of the widespread application of escrow, for instance, in a fractional investment platform, if you're making a purchase in a property and you're getting 1% share, how do you know that you're going to get that 1% share? That is where the role of escrow comes in. So our app, our digital escrow, and we also, in the form of embedded escrows, enable marketplaces to run this escrow program. In terms of traction, we have completed 2 years of operations. We have 50+ platforms that are already live. And this past quarter, we finished 400+ crores in gross transaction volume. When we came into the Finovate program, we had multiple paths in front of us that look like big, but what we've done through the Accelerator is to spoken to multiple people, and we already knew this, but the Indian online sellers and D2C market, all of our Indian D2C market is very, very young. The average order value is 750 rupees in average marketplaces. Things like jewelry, real estate, construction contracts, none of them, all of them which go online today happen offline in India because of the lack of this safe environment. So we have launched purchase protection. 23 brands have already adopted, multiple transactions are taking place. That is a $12 billion serviceable obtainable market, and 2.4 billion, 20% market share is what we are aiming for. There is also another reason why we have chosen that market. One, because cost of user acquisition is next to nothing, and we get to actually grow with the ecosystem. So as these brands today that are 50 lakh, 60 lakh in monthly revenue grow to become 5 crore, 10 crore, 20 crore brands, we will grow with them. On the brand side, they also have a dichotomy. Their dichotomy is, I only have 1,000 or 2,000 people to sell to, but I want to grow. So convince the first user, that's where Vouch comes in. Fantastic team. Pawan, our CTO, has built an at-scale system. We do about 3 lakh transactions on a daily basis. A phenomenal system integrated with multiple banks. I have 15+ years of experience in payments. Nitin here, my co-founder, he's a hustler, comes from the fintech industry. He worked with Open. And Anupam is ex-CEO of CNBC Sports. and we beat the competition by a wide margin. We've so far invested 40 lakhs of our bootstrap capital into this, and I can tell you, you can go check all the competition we've done with 40 lakhs, what they are aiming to do with $16 million. God knows how. Our ask is 38 crores. Out of 38 crores, 25 crores will go into acquiring prudential norms for a PAPG license. Because we will hit scale, and at that scale, we will attract regulator attention, and we want to be ready for that. The remaining 13 crores, out of that, half of it will go into marketing, and the other half will actually go into product development. And just in case for benchmark, Castler, which is a company in this space, has raised 13.6 million, 7 rounds, almost had the same outcomes as we have had with 40 lakh rupees, and Escrow Pay India has raised 3.7 million. We run a high EBITDA company. 58% EBITDA is our monthly EBITDA. We will continue to maybe hover close to that. We want to be a cash flow generating company. And just in case you're wondering, this has not been done before in the world, can anyone name the company internationally that has done purchase protection, built it into a multi-billion-dollar business? Anyone? PayPal. Bharosa matlab Vouch. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna sir. Now, from escrow accounts, we move into a startup which is into AI-based sales co-pilot. The startup is called Wit.ai, and I would like to invite Mr. Vibhuti Anand and Sohrab. Can we please have a huge round of applause for them? Thank you. We'll shortly be having the first scoring session for the first 3 pitches that we've had. You would find the link to menti.com where the scoring should be done. In case any of you all have not been able to open it or have any technical issues, please feel free to reach out to us. One of our team members will be happy to assist.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Vibhuti from Wit.ai. Generative AI chatbot, right? I am sure all of you have used ChatGPT at some point. ChatGPT, I was talking to this useful tool once. I asked it a question, what is the service sector growth in China? It gave me some numbers, and then I asked it, can you compare it with India? It again gave me some numbers, and then I said source, what is the source? It told me, hey, I am not sure, this data I just created, right? And that's like, how does it work? You would have heard, right, since ChatGPT has been launched, every other industry has strongly adopted except for finance. No big finance company today is using ChatGPT or similar LLMs. They are trying to figure out how to, but so far they aren't using it. Why? Because of concerns around biases and hallucinations. You cannot have a chat agent, a generative AI engine, which creates responses on its own. You go and ask it, should I invest in small cap fund? It picks up some random thread from Quora and creates its own answer saying, yes, you should go for it. That's not going to work in a highly regulated industry in finance. So LLM as a technology has a lot of usage, but it needs to be customized for finance. That's what we have done with AI. With means finance. You might have heard with Mantri, with Mantralaya and all, right? So what we have done is we have created a generative AI engine which is pre-trained on a huge corpus of content on finance, specifically in Indian context. So it can handle entire range of queries from banking, insurance, investment, everything. The way it works is it already has a very strong knowledge bank, and then it has the capability to consume new knowledge. So whenever we deploy it for our clients, they have product brochures, research reports. On the go, it can consume new research, and then it starts using it to have conversations with users. So this engine now doesn't have biases, hallucinations. It can be controlled. It is reliable. It's not a black box in the sense for every response there would be traceability. No scenario where the system says, hey, I don't know where this answer got created from. There is complete traceability of every response that the engine gives. So in that sense, we have put around all the guardrails that are required. Of course, no data sharing with any third party. So we have made sure that this is ready to be deployed at enterprises. In fact, our product is deployed at one of the largest wealth management companies in India. Now I'll show you the kind of range that the system has in handling questions. You can go and ask any kind of data question, like which large cap fund has given highest return, very easy to look for data. Do your own research. You can ask recommendations, suggest me a good small cap fund. Response is coming from the research report of the organization. You can even have a discussion on anything related to finance. So you can go and ask, how is Indian economy doing? You can ask, what's your view on pharma sector, right? So it's like ChatGPT, you can go and ask essentially anything related to finance. And of course, it has its own boundary. For this client, it's in wealth domain. So of course, this particular deployment can talk only about wealth, but then it can be deployed, it can be controlled, it's very reliable. So what we essentially want to do is we want to give ChatGPT kind of experience to millions of retail clients in India by deploying it for enterprises. This engine, this product that we have deployed for Aditya Birla Capital is handling thousands of users every month with 100% accuracy. It's handling all sorts of questions related to wealth management. We have one of the metrics that we were tracking was, can we help organization achieve a significant jump in conversion rate? We could do that. And in fact, the product was so good that the organization ended up shutting down its call center completely. They removed the call center number from their website altogether. It wasn't required because the engine was capable of handling any question that people would have. Now, so are we saying we are going to replace humans? Is this engine going to replace all the stockbrokers, insurance agents, telecallers, and everyone? No, we are not saying that. If you look at an interesting data point, 95% of financial sales today is driven by human agents. Even though robo-advisors and websites have existed for decades, 95% sales is driven by human. Why is that? Human trust, human touch point brings trust, it brings stickiness, especially when you are onboarding a client, people prefer talking to human. So ideal journey would be that a human interaction starts the journey, and then the bot takes over and ensures that the user remains on that journey. But there are just not enough people available, right? When a HNI client wants to invest in stock market, he gets a relationship manager who comes, talks, explains everything. You know, he gets an expert. When a retail client wants to invest, he gets a telecaller, right? The telecaller is not even qualified to answer basic questions on finance. We want to ensure that the telecaller gets to the level of an expert investment advisor. And not only investment, banking, insurance, every sector, right? We want to, if insurance has to go from 2% penetration to 60% penetration in India, if we have to open crores of new demat accounts, we are going to need a lot of human intermediaries. We require millions of human agents, right? But it's tough to be a financial agent. It's tough to be an insurance agent. People do not aspire to do that job. Why? Because it takes years of training to be an expert and to be able to be in a position to help people. We want to reduce the effort required to be a ACE financial advisor. How do we do that? So Wit also serves as a co-pilot for these human agents. Whenever a human agent is having an interaction with a client, whether in-person interaction or on phone, the engine listens to the live conversation and gives prompts to the salesperson, right? These prompts help the salesperson answer any kind of question that the customer might be asking. So let me give you a live demo of this thing. Right? So let's say there is a sales agent having conversation with a client. Client is asking a lot of questions. So let's say the client is saying, hey, I like the policy that you're pitching to me, but I want to know, does it cover organ donations? And the sales guy doesn't know, right? Because this thing in the 100-page policy document, at some place it's written that, yes, organ donation expenses are covered by this policy. But as a human being, it's not possible for the human, for that agent to remember the entire 100-page PDF. So now what he is going to do, hey, does this policy cover expenses related to organ donation? Right? And here in the demo, I clicked on start recording, but the way it works in real life is it listens to the entire conversation. In Indian languages, mix of multiple languages, the way people naturally talk to each other, it's able to listen. So the guy doesn't even need to click on that start recording. He was just having interaction with the customer. And as soon as engine recognizes that the customer has asked about organ donation, automatically this response comes on his screen. Let's say client starts ranting about, hey, ye policy mein premium to bahut zyada hai. I'm not going to afford it. Some other company is pitching me lesser premium, and the sales guy doesn't know how does he tackle this question. ये पॉलिसी में प्रीमियम बहुत ज़्यादा है, बहुत एक्सपेंसिव है ये पॉलिसी, मैं नहीं ले सकता ये। Right? So the engine automatically understands the question. As you saw, I spoke in normal Hindi, right? And it comes up with ways to reduce the premium. So there is a facility provided by that client which is called deductible discount. So it comes up with this idea that, hey, tell this client about deductible discount. There is a discount available, right? So now the sales guy can pitch this to the client that premium ज़्यादा है, but ये deductible discount से आप अपना premium reduce कर सकते हो। अगर और डीप डाइव करना है, द कस्टमर आस्क्स, अच्छा क्या है ये डिडक्टेबल डिस्काउंट, आई डोंट नो अबाउट इट। व्हाट इज डिडक्टेबल डिस्काउंट? Okay. So as I said, we want to bring millions of people to financial distribution network. We want to reduce the threshold effort required for somebody to be a financial agent. And thus what we want to do is, for BFSI companies, we want to enable them to provide same level of service to retail clients that they are giving to HNI clients by reducing the cost required for this purpose. Every sort of question can be handled by the platform automatically. Alerts can be generated. After the meeting is done, automatic meeting summary and everything is created to be able to track what happened during the meeting. We have shown that we can achieve significant jump in conversion rate, reduce the sales cycle, and increase productivity of these human agents. As per Gartner report, this is a $16 billion opportunity. One of the biggest opportunities of this decade is going to be applying generative AI in finance. We are well positioned to seize that opportunity because we are focused on this particular domain. We already have few clients, so it's deployed at 2 clients. We are running 3 pilots at this point of time with various insurance companies and in wealth management space. We are looking to raise $500,000 fund, would be primarily used to improve our product. We have got significant interest from markets outside India, from Southeast Asia, Middle East, Europe. We are getting interest, but the product is not ready for those geographies yet. So we are going to use this capital and invest in technology to be ready for these markets as well, and sales and distribution. So so far, the team internally has driven sales. We want to create an inside sales team, and we are going to spend some money on marketing as well. We have a very solid team, 4 alumni, actually batchmates from IIM Calcutta, 35 plus years of experience in finance. So all of us, prior to MBA, we worked in software development for 3 years with companies like Infosys, Cognizant, TCS. And after that, again, we worked in 3 years at companies like PwC, Latent View, Deloitte. So we have got the techno-functional skill set to build this venture. Entire platform has been coded from scratch by the founding team, and we also have the skills to scale it up. Hope you decide to be a part of our journey. Look forward to meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vibhuti sir. Now we have the first round of scoring that is about to take place. My colleague Ansh would soon be assisting you all with that. In the meantime, I would request you all to please open menti.com. The scoring would be on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest possible score. So there's a website which is menti.com. So on the WhatsApp broadcast group, you would have received a link.
So any of you who have not gotten a link can just log into any of your browsers on the phone and just open menti.com, menti.com, and there's a code up there. Just put in that code and you'll be on the page in case you have not received the link.
This is only for the investors. that was there. Ma'am has sent the link. You can open it again and vote. So there'll be a separate link for every pitch that we have. Yeah. Move on to the next. Has everyone voted for this? Anybody still pending? Okay, so we are moving on to the next pitch. Pitch number 3 from Wit.ai. I think we have 4 more to go. 4 votes still remain. 3. Sure. So now, moving on to the 4th pitch for the day. We have with us founders from Drona Pay, who's a startup that is into payment fraud detection. I would like to invite Mr. Satish Kashyap and his team. Please give them a huge round of applause.
Very good.
You can let me know when to play the product demo.
Yeah, you can just switch that on.
It's from this.
Okay, sure. Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Satish Kashyap, and what Drona Pay primarily does is real-time risk protection. Today, if one looks at the way risk or fraud prevention is done, they're run by rules. So let me give you an example. If you place a transaction for a particular merchant category code which is earmarked for crypto, it is likely to be blocked. If you take a card and try and do 3 transactions within 30 minutes across 3 different stores, you're likely to get blocked. That's the era of risk protection. Now let's just talk about some of the frauds that we've heard of or seen recently. How many of you are from the Netflix era of Jamtara? How many of you have seen what happens on that? Superb. Not enough people on the investor side, I'm sorry. But clearly, one of the key roles that you will realize is that unlike frauds which are done using your card or your transaction, many of these frauds are done as authorized transactions where they convince you. You get an SMS saying, this is the income tax department, today is the last day to pay, here's the link. You may be informed that your electricity is going to get cut tomorrow morning, and you have a link. Now, how do you work in an era of solving such kind of frauds? If you've looked at the newspaper almost in the last 2 days, there's a mobile banking app from Bob World, which has been brought into the news because of the way customers were added through mobile numbers, which linked to bank accounts which were not owned by the customer itself. That was used in order to siphon funds off. So clearly, the fraudster is in a different era. The risk tools need to come to the new era. And that's where Drona Pay comes in. Today, alternate data sets, whether it's IP address, which is useful in order to determine the geolocation, whether it's your past spending profile, whether it's the profile of frauds that is currently doing the round, all of it is essential to decide how to protect you. Alternate data plays a key role today in order to help protect and prevent frauds. And no longer can you work in the era of just writing rules. Your team members will not be able to analyze data which has 60 to 70 dimensions. You clearly need to move to the new era. When one talks about the overall growth of digital payments, in multiple areas, we are seeing growth in frauds, and these fraud patterns are significantly different from the past. If one looks at UPI, this digital payment infrastructure is being replicated across the world. The US is adopting a model similar to UPI called FedNow, which is still in pilot phase. Scams of the nature of social engineering, like the Jamtara ones, are rampant in this model. The type of necessary tools that are needed to prevent it are extremely dependent on machine learning models, are extremely dependent on retraining in order to catch newer and newer patterns. Let's talk about the lending impetus that is happening. When we started off, one of our first customers was a BNPL product. The kind of delinquencies that they were facing, in spite of their underwriting methodology, requires you to train models which are focused on what results in DPD 30 or DPD 60 based on recent spending patterns, recent transaction patterns in order to bring them down. We work today with neobanks and payment processors. Let me give you an insight into some of the problems with opening digital savings accounts that our customers have witnessed. Many of these accounts, which are opened when folks say that they're joining a company, never get used. Suddenly, a month later or 3 months later, they witness inflow and outflow, and these serve as payment channels or mule accounts, and that results in an LEA notice coming to the bankers, who then have to figure out all of the data sets associated with the transaction, the KYC, and the entire history. How can you in real time block such transactions which have witnessed huge movements, which are unlike the original location of the account holder, where the digital footprint of the user is different? These are the problems that Drona Pay addresses. The market statement for fraud, scams, and money laundering and delinquency is extremely large. If one looks at the global market, the sizes are in millions and billions and tends to boggle us and make us feel like we've got the TAM numbers all figured out. In the Indian context also, this market, because of the various drivers that I was talking about, the UPI growth, the BNPL credit card growth, is witnessing huge growth in that space. Globally, there are players across different revenue stacks within this market. There is an emerging set of players which are focused on new age technology play. There are medium-sized players as well as large players, clearly showing that the overall fraud and risk in a real-time scenario, not the onboarding side, not the data analytics and the batch kind of process, but the real-time play in fraud and risk mitigation is an extremely large challenge that needs to be addressed. The team at Drona Pay has a significant number of veterans who worked with real-time risk management. I myself come from NSE, along with many of my co-founding members. We've witnessed NSE's ability to handle huge transaction and run risk management at scale, and we've built those platforms. Pallavi, my co-founder, has been with NSE from 1995 and has worked on the core trading and risk systems. So has Zala, and so have my other colleagues like Arpan and Praveen, who manage our operations and sales side. So over the last 2 years, as we've built out this business, we've addressed a number of challenges already. We have 4 customers who are live. We have 2 customers who are going through the phase of going live, who are large banks. And in order to work with such institutions, the sales cycle and the entire contracting processes are also significantly larger. And we've gone through that grind over the last 2 years. We worked with a leading private bank. We worked with a large neobank as well. We worked with a payment aggregator in the play where we handle both online, offline, POS transactions. We cover a number of products, including cards, NEFT, Aadhaar-enabled payments, domestic money transfers, and the whole works around credit card as well. Today, our largest customer does more than 1 million transactions a day. We already do, from a product-based ARR or an MRR, we already do about $350,000. Apart from that, we have implementation and professional services, which adds on top of this. We've already broken even and generate cash on a month-to-month basis. This platform, as we try to scale, is building out with this whole set of machine learning models and data integration pieces. We are at a stage where we've covered use cases across assets, liabilities, as well as payment stack. We're now trying to expand this play to the next level. Building out in India is essential, while also taking the journey overseas. Over the course of the next year, we're aiming to raise $5 million in order to take this platform to the global marketplace. Thank you. We've video as well, just to get you.
Here's an overview of our platform. On logging in, you can see the real-time transaction dashboard that gets updated as each transaction flows into a system. And on the right-hand side, you see decision details, which shows the entire rule set that was evaluated for this particular channel, that is UPI. We have a case management system which helps action these alerts. It is made from a configurable BPMN modeler. On the left-hand side, you have the list of tickets based on queuing and filtering mechanisms. On the right-hand side, you have summary level data with the core transaction data itself, history and audit trail, and related cases mentioned here. You have the core master onboarding information of the party involved. On claiming a ticket, you can decide to choose the next set of dispositions. You can facilitate third-party integrations of API of multiple channels such as WhatsApp, IVR, email. You can send and receive attachments. Additionally, you have the core rule engine, which is made from Blockly, which is a low-code, no-code sort of drag-and-drop interface, which helps us construct these rules using thresholds, so any change in the rule is very easy at our end. We have a large rule library, which helps us cater to all the different kinds of use cases, such as issuer-related, acquirer-related, bank-related, and even specific ML problem statements such as delinquency reduction, chargeback handling, and new customer risk modeling. Thank you.
Thank you, Satish. So from Drona Pay's fraud detection, we now move on to the pitch number 5 for the day. I would like to invite WebN.ai and the team Ishita and Vishwam.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, the Finovate team, SPJIMR, and Manoj sir for giving us this opportunity to present to all of you. My name is Ishita. I am from WebN.ai, Nyai being the Hindi word for justice. We're building the internet's dispute resolution ecosystem, and we're an enterprise SaaS solution, leveraging artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language processing in our ecosystem. So the problem here is very simple and goes back years. The dispute resolution system of India is broken. Going to courts is expensive, it's time consuming, and it's a very extremely hassling process. No one wants to go to the courts, not even the lawyers. It's often said that justice is cheap, but lawyers are expensive. The backlog in the Indian courts is massive and increasing by the day. Our solution to this problem is online dispute resolution. Resolving the disputes online is being massively pushed by the government as well these days, with the Mediation Act in effect as of last week officially notified, as well as the likes of SEBI moving to online dispute resolution for all of capital market disputes. This market has seen exponential growth over the past few years. So what we have essentially on the tech front is a plug-and-play. Sorry, can you hold on for a second? Thank you. Is a plug-and-play technology wherein we have a mechanism for companies to also set up grievance redressal. We have it across different sectors. So for the IRDAI, RBI, with regards to, again, the capital markets, SEBI, if it comes to the media and entertainment sector, then grievance redressal systems as per the MITI. So we have customizable solutions which companies can plug and play and sort of resolve their grievances as well as disputes online. We also have a panel of around 1,000 neutrals who serve as conciliators, mediators, and arbitrators, and they're based pan-India. So we try to conduct most of our conciliations and arbitrations in native languages, in different vernacular languages, and we've seen this really pick up and sort of be appreciated by a lot of the users that we work with. We're also building AI and machine learning into our platform for online dispute resolution. So users can draft their legal pleadings online, and a lot of times they can even draft their statements of claim, defense, rejoinders, etc. We're also building generative AI solutions for dispute resolution. With using our technology, we're calling it doc chat. Lawyers, judges can sort of effectively and very efficiently sort of chat with case histories and extremely document-heavy sort of bundles. They can summarize information, extrapolate different points, and receive a lot of case precedents, which helps them draft their arguments a lot better, saves them a hell lot of time. We're also fine-tuning our LLM models for the Indian ecosystem. So what this will help do is it will sort of help the technology to sort of reduce backlog in the cases by suggesting awards and agreements which can be followed. As of last week, we have been shortlisted by NASSCOM for their Gen AI solutions in dispute resolution. It's not been made public as of yet. It will be announced formally next week on the 19th. So we're looking forward to that. They're also going to help us with some infrastructure-related things like procuring GPUs, et cetera, with regards to training LLM models and fine-tuning them. We're also the only Indian startup which has been very recently recognized as part of the Law Tech Accelerator, which is backed by the government of the United Kingdom. We're also the only Indian startup we're the only startup in the dispute resolution sector recognized by Matrix Partners India for Gen AI and dispute resolution, one of the three when it comes to legal tech. We have some product sort of videos for you to see. Yes.
Introducing Docs by WebN.ai, the AI-powered document management solution built for lawyers. With Docs, you can easily create custom workspaces to organize documents for each case or project. It lets you seamlessly import folders from cloud storage like Google Drive or Dropbox with just a click. You can paginate hundreds of documents simultaneously in seconds. And make scanned or image PDFs text searchable by OCRing them in batches on the cloud. OCR up to 50 files in 120 seconds. Create hyperlinked indexes and connect to the right document or page with one click. Use hyperlinks seamlessly to connect related documents, statutes, case law, and more. Instantly jump to the exact page you need every time. Or use our intelligent semantic search to find what you're looking for across all documents. Collaborate faster with the team, add comments, notes and hyperlinks in the PDF editor. Quickly generate bookmarked and indexed files for submissions. Throughout all this, your data remains fully secure, protected and confidential through state-of-the-art encryption, access controls, and data isolation. Upgrade to Docs and experience the hassle-free future of legal document management.
Introducing WebN Doc Chat, where your data is secure and protected. WebN harnesses the power of AI and advanced language models like ChatGPT and Claude to review your documents. Receive real-time answers to your questions and the source of answers within seconds. Cross-check the answers for accuracy with the source documents. Incorporate AI-generated insights effortlessly into your legal advice. The result? Efficient legal advice without sacrificing your personal life. Introducing WebN Doc Chat. Find answers to your legal questions within seconds. WebN Doc Chat gives lawyers superpowers.
This market is fairly new. You might have heard of some of our competitors. They have received funding from institutional investors. Everybody essentially is more or less at the same pace. Some of our competitors are Sama, Jupiter, Credor, Cord, Presolve. Coming to the market size, the numbers that you see on the screen, the total addressable market as 56 billion. These are numbers calculated by the Niti Aayog in collaboration with Dalberg Consultancy and some others. And these are numbers just for India. And we do think that the obtainable market is about 2.5 billion. What makes WebN unique compared to our competitors is that we believe we have the right team to sort of execute this idea and take it to the market. We have an excellent team of sort of advisors and mentors who have been guiding us both on the tech front as well as the legal front. And we believe we already have a head start when it comes to technology. We believe we have the best technology amongst our peers and competitors. Coming to our profiles, I am a product designer by background. I graduated from NIF Delhi in product design. I have designed experiences for different companies ranging from HSBC to Credit Suisse, Amrapali Jewels, and I've also worked with the World Health Organization and Google to sort of design experiences and products for them. My co-founder, Vishwam, is arbitration has been his bread and butter for the past 9 years. He's worked both in India, internationally, in law firms based in the UAE and the United Kingdom. So he has a lot of his network there is very well established outside of India as well. He's also worked on a lot of policy projects with the Indian government, worked very closely with the Niti Aayog, as well as with UNICEF and the World Health Organization, UNDP. We have a team size already of over 15 people, and they've been split across growth, technology, and some case managers who we appoint for every case that comes to us. We've been operational since 2020. Like I mentioned, SEBI has recently moved to online dispute resolution. We're the only ODR startup which is working with 2 MIIs. So we're working with both the National Stock Exchange as well as the NSDL to resolve disputes that are now coming. And these include disputes against mutual funds as well now, which SEBI has increased the ambit of dispute resolution. We're also working with a few NBFCs in the BFSI space. Lending BNPL has become increasingly popular, especially in the last few years. And with lending and BNPL comes a lot of sort of recoveries. And traditionally, they were all happening offline. But recently, again, with online dispute resolution, companies are now seeing their NPAs reduced at just a fraction of the cost that it earlier was. We're impaneled with both ONDC and the Sehmati account aggregator ecosystems. We're also working on digitizing arbitration centers. So we've worked with the DIFC courts in Dubai, as well as in Tashkent and more recently in South Africa. Again, like I mentioned, we're already working with a lot of media and entertainment companies like Disney Hotstar, Netflix, Amazon Prime. We're looking to raise 3.1 million as our next round. We raised a small seed round as of last year. We're hoping to utilize the funds to train our Gen AI systems more on the Indian legal corpus and also take it to market. I think I've run out of time now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ishita. So finally, pitch number 6 for the day, and we'll have another round of scoring soon. And for pitch number 6, we have another AI-focused startup. We have Trin.ai, and we have a team comprising of Shiv, Manish, and Dhruv. So can we have a round of applause for them?
Perfect. In the videos. Check. Yeah. So good morning, everyone. This is Shiv Shankar. I'm the co-founder at Trin.ai. So since my friends Ashit and Krishna have used up the 2 options of KBC, I will use the third one, 50-50. So whenever you buy a product or a service, how many of you do your own research, spend hours doing the research? Right? Great. And how many of you go to a sales guy or call center trying to get the answers for yourself? Okay, great. That's fine, right? So imagine, in both these scenarios, the user goes through a lot of pain trying to find answers to their questions. Right? Mostly as users, we know our use case. We know what our need is. We don't know which product or service meets our use case. And we have come with a solution that can help that user figure out the right answer for their questions and make the right selection. And that's where Trin.ai comes. So we are building a Jarvis for commerce, where we are a vertical AI native recommendation engine that resolves the user's discovery, order, fulfillment, and post-fulfillment journey. So here's Ramesh, who's trying to buy a microwave to make cake. Now that's his use case. Now, while he's going through this journey, he has a lot of questions that he's trying to get answered. But it's very tedious, very time-consuming, right? That research that you talked about, solutions that they have in place. But these are very ineffective. And you've seen most of these, right? There is an endless list of websites scrolling. Of course, the call center nightmare is always there existing, right? So, in the end, Ramesh's experience is filled with frustration, and he's not sure if he's made the right choice. What if Ramesh we can have an interface between the enterprise and the user where Ramesh can come with his own use case in his own language and tell that I'm looking for this product to fulfill this particular need, and AI can help bring the right product and service from that enterprise to solve that problem. Now, by doing this, Ramesh gets a delightful experience, and to the enterprise, we are helping achieve higher conversions and better loyalty, because now Ramesh is getting all the answers from one single point of contact. And just at this point, we will show you a quick demo of how an interaction could happen between the user and this AI layer. And this is just one of the examples that we have. So here's a user who is basically looking to buy a phone, right? And most of us have this use case, right? Where all we know is we need a phone which has a great camera because I like taking photos and probably a good display. That's my use case. Now, I need to be able to give this use case to someone and let them help me find the right product that fits my requirements. And that's what is happening right here. So he's basically saying, I need a great camera and good battery. That is all he's saying, right? Last screen as well, right? And the moment he says that, now AI is going to understand that request and is going to come with a query of, okay, what does that budget look like? So, yeah, so right there, right? What is the budget for the phone? And Ramesh provides an input, about 40K. There you go, right? So now AI will come up with a question of what are the card offers that Ramesh has. So now AI is trying to help Ramesh find the best offer for some of the products that he can get. So it's now asking what card does he have. So he says ICICI and SBI. And now AI is processing that. And it is going to come with recommendations of products that meets his use case. Right, so yeah, there it is. So there's the recommendation that has come through of different phone options which are meeting Ramesh's specification, Ramesh's requirements, along with the card offers that are applicable to Ramesh. And now these are links that we have provided at this point, which can lead to any website, any site. It could be, a store, a retail store site, or it can be to their retail marketplace as well. Right, and the interaction can continue on and on with AI, and AI will help Ramesh with all his questions about the product. Right? So basically what we are offering is a platform that offering this to the enterprises where we are automating the entire value chain for the platform, starting from sales to support all the way to business analytics, where we are providing critical information about user preferences, user choices, so the business can make very critical decisions around how to better position themselves to win customer loyalty and win their business. Right, these are some of the customers that we are working with, and a wide range of different industries that we are trying to solve this problem of discovery and the entire DOFP. Right, just a quick look at where we are. So we have our MVP ready. We are implementing that in a few of our customers at this point. We have 25 customers in the pipeline, 5 implementations already in progress. So our long-term plan is to have channel partnerships where we have a platform, and then our channel partners could implement the wrapper on top of it and apply it across any of their customer base around the world. Right, our goal for just this year end is to hit a MRR of 3 lakhs per month. Right, it's a very large market because everybody's trying to solve this problem. There's a large retail space out there, and we estimate our serviceable profitability to be over $3 million. And lastly, we're looking at some of our key activities for the next 24 months. So we want to enhance our domain expertise in fintech, tech, and travel. Right now, we have solved in retail. We want to increase our presence in India, US, and UK through targeted partnerships. Then we want to attend events so that we can promote our brand and create more awareness. And we also want to acquire customers. So if you have any of your portfolio companies or anyone you know who might benefit from this solution, please refer them to us. Right, to the team, I'm the co-founder, come with 80 plus years experience in enterprise, and also I recently had a startup as well before this. Manish Tiwari and Dhruv Mahapatra who are in the audience, they are from the tech team. They come with, again, tremendous experience with domain experience in AI, ML, and most importantly, the team has passion to build a product that can solve a real problem for our users and our customers. We also have some known mentors who are guiding us in this journey and helping us through this. Right, coming to a quick competitive analysis. So again, what we have developed is a very unique solution in the cognitive layer. So we are able to understand the customer intent. Because as a customer, when you interact with different solutions, you want them to understand what you really need. And that is what we're enabling. So that is something that is proprietary to us. Then the vertical domain knowledge. So when we build a solution for that particular domain, we can easily replicate that across multiple customers in that domain. Right? We also have, this is a plug-and-play solution, so we can get the enterprise up and running in few days, not weeks or months. So that is another major benefit. And then it is multimodal. So there is chat, voice, and multiple input support that is available. Some of the players in similar domain, you know of Harvey Shore in legal, Mindtrip solving for travel, and Atomic Work that is solving in HR. So we are in a similar kind of vertical space. So our ask is $1 million in this round, where we are basically primarily looking to hire a team of engineers and domain experts who can bring the domain knowledge and help us build within that domain. And then we also want to enhance our sales team so we can commercialize this product across the world in different regions. And also want to promote the brand in different events. Right, so that's all we have for you today, and look forward to engaging with you and taking more questions in the, during the break.
Thank you, Shiv. So as we come to the end of the 6th pitch, we'll have the second round of scoring for pitches number 4, 5, and 6. Everyone, excluding the startup founders, can vote in this round. So I hope all of you are well versed with Minty and are on the screens. If there's anybody who's still yet to, please reach out to us. We'll be glad to assist. So we've moved on to the next startup, which is WebN.ai is scoring now. This was pitch number 5. Moving on to the scoring for the sixth pitch from Trin.ai. Okay, so now moving on to pitch number 7. We have with us Splendor or Lodo, which is a customer engagement and rewards program app. And we have with us Mr. Anil Balan. Can we please give him a huge round of applause?
Hello.
For navigating the sense, you can let me know when to.
Very good morning, everyone. I think I'm audible. What we're trying to solve is basically one of the largest problem in the retail industry. For Bharat by Bharat, if you look at the way the retail industry is, it's a pretty big market, and we are trying to address the problem in terms of the payments that is being there. So we are piggybacking on the Dhan model, right? You know, Aadhaar, mobility, and the UPI payments within the payment industry in the retail. If you look at it in last 2022, the UPI payments were about 74 billion, right? With a value of transaction about 126 trillion, right? With a growth of about 73% year on year. And with as per the NPCI last September, we are looking at about 1 billion transactions per day is what by 2027. And the growth in the semi-rural, tier 2, Bharat, what we call it as tier 2, tier 3, the growth has been phenomenal. That option has been pretty phenomenal. We have been looking at this industry very closely, and with the pandemic, the behavioral has shifted both in the consumers as well as in the merchants. And while looking at that, we started looking at the payment industry as an overall, and we realized that the payment players at the checkout counter, at every storefront or the merchant counter, you've got a QR code which is available, right? And the QR code is primarily used as a payment mechanisms by the payment providers. But it's not being used as an insight or a valuable tool for the merchant, right? How we can leverage that to provide insights to the merchant is what we have been trying to crack. And we looked at the consumer behavior by virtue of surveys in tier 2, tier 3 cities. What we realized is offline market in tier 2, tier 3 is pretty large, and then about 82% of the respondents in our survey were looking at offline shopping. So what Lodo is trying to do, Lodo is basically a hyperlocal look around you, UPI-enabled payments and marketing platform for offline small and medium merchants. So when I talk about small and medium merchants, what I'm talking about is the middle of the pyramid, not the bottom, not the Kirana stores, anything, not the big stores that you would have like Reliance or Aditya Birla and stuff and so on, but middle of the pyramid where the average revenue per month would be about 1.5 crore sort of a thing. Now, if you look at that particular segment, they do not have a mechanisms for customer engagement or for retention or for retargeting their consumers back to the store. Now, what Lodo is trying to do is convert the QR code which is there in the store front, right? Automated mechanisms from the merchant perspective to attract the consumers. Now, if you look at the problem, there are more than 50 million small and medium businesses in this in India. The target, the middle of the pyramid that we are talking about, right? Who are adopted QR payments, but they are not able to convert that into mechanisms which is very suitable for a merchant. Now, our solution is, how do we convert that QR code which is lying in the storefront as an automated marketing tool to give the benefit by creating a consumer wallet with a zero customer acquisition cost. How do we do that? We have got two applications. One is for the merchant, one is for the consumer. For a merchant, it is primarily a very standalone application which provides insights in terms of who is the consumer coming through. Depending upon the analytics that we provide on the shopping behavior of the consumer, helps them to identify the time of the day, the category of the person in terms of what type of TG of the consumer is by targeting a particular community and then driving it to the storefront. A small demo of the product. So the product is available in Android and iOS. We have been in the market for about 10 months. We have got about 93,000 users right now in one city, with more than 66,000 users in Play Store, with an App Store rating of 4.6. So from a user perspective, what we're trying to do is, from both merchant and consumer, what is the value that we can offer beyond payments? And basically, our objective is to create a rewarding experience by connecting the payments, loyalty, and marketing on a single transaction. And that's what you will see right now. So typically, the user journey is a consumer walks into a store, and if he's a Lodo consumer, the benefit that the merchant is pushing on to the consumer as a part of cashback. Now, if you look at it in the credit card world, debit card and credit card world, the cashback is very easily implemented. But on a UPI, the implementation is not there, and that's what we're seeing as a sweet spot in terms of implementing the cashbacks by the merchant. So here, the tool allows the merchant to push multiple engagement products to its consumer depending upon a TG. It could be a cashback, it could be rewards, it could be separate offers from a merchant perspective to the consumer on a targeted community. Now, the consumer walks into the store, makes a payment through Lodo on any QR code, could be Paytm and anything. The payment is done through any of the UPI layer, but whatever is offers the merchant is given is auto-applied onto the particular stack, and it's very seamless. So if you have seen here, the 5 rupees tax cashback was easily applied on the 100 rupees that is paid, and 95 rupees is what the consumer has paid very seamlessly. So we have been in the market, we have been doing pretty good. At this point in time, we've got more than 10,000 transacting users as of now. We are in the city, we are incubated in IM Kozhikode, Kerala, and what we have done is, in terms of, we have got about 65 plus retail stores online right now. We have looked at the distribution channels as mechanisms to go to the market. And the market size is pretty large. This is what we looked at from our perspective, or from our target capability perspective. We are looking at about 1 lakh merchants with a transaction value of 2 lakhs per store, which is in India. Now, if you look at it, we can get into Middle East as well, because if you look at UP implementation, the government is also trying to pull it out to the rest of the countries as well. So in terms of the growth, we have looked at large growth mechanisms. We have partnered, we use a distribution channel as one of the mechanisms. We partnered with the billing software guys on the POS that allows our presence to be on each of the storefront. The partnership with Pet Puja, Postgres, Exobis, as well as Exportine has given us an opportunity of 100,000 stores pan-India. That is about 2,400 stores in Kerala for us to penetrate in. Also, our partnership with the financial services companies like Decentro, Aspire, and Augment has given benefits that we can share it with the consumers. Now, the benefit that we are getting on the platform can be used as savings product by the consumer, can be used as an uplifting capability of adding more values. So Augment is a virtual gold platform. So the savings that you're having can be converted into virtual gold as well as part of a savings. Now, we are three, myself, Anil Balan. I have been in the corporate for about 3 decades, ex-HCL Tech Mahindra. My co-founders, Axel and Nipun, are second-time entrepreneurs. We have all the core team members, Naveen as well as Tarun, is again a second-time entrepreneur. PK Sam is a company secretary, he was a CFO of BPL. So we believe that the governance is very important from a fintech perspective, and he takes care of that. Vijay Rajagopal is the mentor, he's the head of Amazon Pay, and Vimal is basically from Open and PayU Citrus. So we got a very strong team behind this particular idea. As far as competition is concerned, our closest competition is YoYo Wallet, which is there in Europe, but they don't implement in UPI, but they implement on credits. Fave has been there in Singapore, they come back to India, it's been acquired by Pine Labs. But if you look at the entire benefit that's offered by Lodo as an aggregation by corporates or the consumers or into large mechanisms, we are ahead of the rest of the players. What we are looking for is about 2.5 crores to get into the larger scheme of things as part of our growth and scale. And the majority of the funds will be used for team building as well as marketing. And as of now, if you look at it, our cap table, the founders have got more than 80% of the equity. Thank you very much. Open for the questions.
Thank you, Anil. We now move on to the next pitch, pitch number 8. And we have with us Finclass. T. Naveen Kumar and Dr. Rakesh Verma are here to tell you more about their agricultural financing startup.
Okay. Yeah. Immediately. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thanks to Finovate team and mentors and all the investors assembled here for giving this opportunity. My name is Naveen. I'm a son of farmer and with 2 successful exits. And today, what I'm sharing, right, like the idea, which is very close to my heart, which can impact millions of lives while generating the good returns to the investor. Anyone of here from a farmer's background or a farming background? Yeah, good. So I will show a real video.
Meet Srinivas, a determined small-scale farmer hailing from the picturesque Timmapur village in the heart of Warangal district, Telangana. His dreams of flourishing in the world of agriculture were consistently hindered by the scarcity of funds needed for premium fertilizers, top-notch seeds, and state-of-the-art farming equipment. Srinivas yearned for a financial boost, but securing a farming loan proved to be an arduous challenge.
ప్రస్తుతం రైతులు ఉన్న పరిస్థితి ఏంటి? నిజంగా చాలా కష్టం ఉంది సార్. మేము పంట వేయాలంటే ముందుగా పెట్టుబడి పెట్టాలి. ఆ పెట్టుబడి కోసం ఊర్లో ఉన్నటువంటి సాహుకారుల దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి అప్పు తెచ్చుకుంటాం. ఆ అప్పుకు నెల తిరగక ముందుకే 2 నుంచి 5% వడ్డీలు వేస్తున్నారు సార్. అంతేకాదని చెప్పేసి మేము పోయి ఆ బ్యాంకుల్లో పోయి రుణాలు తెచ్చుకోవాలని చెప్పేసి బ్యాంకుల చుట్టూ తిరిగితే ఆ బ్యాంక్ ఆఫీసర్కి ఏమో తెలుగు రాదు. నేను చెప్పేది అర్థం కాదు. ఈ పత్రాలు తీసుకురా, ఆ పత్రాలు తీసుకురా అంటాడు. అంతేకాకుండా 5 బ్యాంకులకి ఎన్ఓసి తీసుకొని రా, నీకు అప్పు లేదన్నట్టు ఎన్ఓసి తీసుకొస్తే మేము శాంక్షన్ చేస్తామని చెప్తాడు. ఆ ఎన్ఓసి తీసుకొని పోయి మళ్ళీ పోయి బ్యాంక్ కాడికి పోతే ఎంఆర్ఓ ఆఫీస్ కాడ పోయి నువ్వు ధృవీకరణ తీసుకొని రా అంటాడు. ఆ ఎంఆర్ఓ ఇంత అంత పని సార్ అది. రోజు తిరిగి ఆ ఎంఆర్ఓ ఆఫీస్ కాడికి వెళ్తే ఆ ఎంఆర్ఓ ఆఫీస్ కాడ ధృవీకరణ పత్రం ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత కూడా ఇంకా బ్యాంక్ ఆఫీసర్ నేను వచ్చి ఇన్స్పెక్షన్ చేసి నీకు ఇస్తాను, ఈ ల్యాండ్ ఏడుందో చూసి ఇస్తా అని చెప్తాడు. మళ్ళీ తిరిగితే ఆ ఇన్స్పెక్షన్కి వచ్చిన తర్వాత కూడా పోయి తీసుకుపోయి మళ్ళీ హెడ్ ఆఫీస్లో ఉంది, హెడ్ ఆఫీస్ నుంచి రాగానే మీకు ఇస్తామని చెప్తారు. ఇలా తిరిగి మా కాళ్ళు అరుగుతున్నాయి సార్. ఇక్కడ అనుకున్న టైంకు రుణం రాక, అనుకున్న టైంకు పంట వేయక, మాకు కావాల్సిన రుణం రాక మేము మా కన్నాలకించి నెత్తులు కాడుతుంది. ఇవి మా రైతుల బాధలు సార్.
Enter Finclass, the game changer in Srinivas's farming journey.
ఫిన్క్లాస్ యాప్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేశాక రైతులు నా పరిస్థితి ఏమైనా మారిందా?
చాలా సంతోషకరం సార్. ఆపదలో ఉన్నటువంటి మాలాంటి రైతులకు ఆసరా దొరికినట్టు అయింది. చేతిలోనే ఫిన్క్లాస్ యాప్లోకి వెళ్ళి కావాల్సిన పత్రాలు దాంట్లో పెట్టి దాంట్లో పొందుపరిచి మేము ఇంత లోన్ కావాలంటే క్షణాలలో అడిగిన వెంటనే మాకు లోన్ శాంక్షన్ అవుతుంది. దీని ద్వారా మా రైతుల యొక్క టైం కూడా వృధా కాకుండా మా పంటలపైన, మా పంటలపైన ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పెట్టి మాకు నచ్చిన పంటను మేము పండించుకుంటూ ఉన్నాం సార్. ఈ ఫిన్క్లాస్ యాప్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత మా జీవితం సుఖాంతమైంది సార్.
Srinivas's journey is not just his alone. It's a tale shared by thousands of farmers across Telangana and Karnataka who have embraced the groundbreaking agri-business loan solution by Finclass, paving the way for greater prosperity. Finclass, cultivating prosperity.
So these are the problems faced by the farmers. Since I am also coming from a farming background, it's very tedious tasks. Like, let me give an example. So I went for my land. I have a land in Hosur. Like, it took 5 months to get a loan. Like, the processing fees, stamp duty I paid 8%, and legal fees and everything, it's went around 5 months. Like, I went to 3 to 5 banks to get a NOC, local banks, and I went to nearest Tahsildar office and everything. So this is the story of Srinivas, the farmer. Like, we have a 14 crores farmers, the story is same. And so farmers need to do cropping after the rain itself. So they don't have any choice, or else they will miss the cropping season. So they borrow from the local money lenders. So that is a problem. Coming to the bankers problem, right? Like, bankers have a NPS, which is very high. As per the RBI report, it's 9.8%. Real NPS are much higher because of the norms of agri NPA recognition. So inadequate staffing. Let me give an example, right? I came from my place. We have a 118,000 farmers, and we have only 38 staff. How they can do? Manual process they need to do, and they need to go physically visit everything. And data fragmentation, they don't have a data itself. And intentional loan defaults, like farm loan 2,800, what happened, right? Like the politicians came, they say that we will waive the loan, no one will do it. And also you have, suppose you are going for a car loan, the end use will go for a car loan. For educational loan, it's educational loan. But here there is no traceability. And bankers face a lot of stress. And every day it's a chaos, like you have seen in the video, right? Like long queues and all. So these are the problems faced by the bankers. So what is happening, right? Still, so India has an agriculture budget of 20 lakh crores, still 10.5% only farmers have a KCC, 71% of the loans are given collateral loans, and 91% in the South India they take a collateral. So this is a big problem. Farmers also facing a problem, bankers also facing a problem. So you cannot solve the problem the way it has been created. Everyone in India, they're saying a digitization, KCC digitization. So without having you cannot solve a problem way it's created. So you need to have an agri stack and automation. So that's what we have built it. We took 2 to 3 years to build the agri-tech stack and digital platform, which will create a win-win scenario for both the farmers, bankers. And it's very simple. Like, farmers need to give Aadhaar, phone number, and consent. That's it. Shift. We fetch 80 plus data points, KYC, assets and liabilities, all these things automatically. Turnaround time is 3 minutes. And it's smart. Like, traceability of the loan application is there by tokenization and vernacular voice based. So we partnered with Microsoft, and they invested 80 crores. And in 22 dialects, we have built an app which they can use it in a local thing. So this is an example of the flow. And we believe, like, in China, we have Ant Finance. Like 10,000 people are there. They cater to 120 crores people, different products. So scale only comes with an automation. So we are zero human intervention, data pipeline, algorithm development, infrastructure development, experimentation, predictions, everything automatic. So end-to-end agricultural stack we have created. And you know, right, I will give you one fact. So 25 to 30% is the NPS in UP, Punjab and Haryana. In Andhra Pradesh, self-help groups, group lending, NPS is 0.8%. So it is clear that in Andhra, the farmers borrows 2x more than these farmers. So the solution is very clear. You need to have a group lending, tripartite agreements we need to do, and farmers we need to educate every time. No way you get a loan at a 4%. Don't fall for this thing. And we are also doing lean on crop, land, DBT. We have an access to the government records also to reduce the defaults. So this is the perfect antidote for the NPS. So we are also using Web3. And ours is a recurring business. Every time the farmer, every year he need to sow the thing, crops, so it's a recurring business. So this is the example of the flow, what we have created it. So by using account aggregator, other things, and digital filling the forms, digital land ownership, verification, crop pattern, GPS, satellite image, digital credit history. So everything automated. So we taken a long time to convince, like phase one concept buying. So we take this problem to the different state governments, central government and all. So concept development and buying a stakeholder inside. We spend a lot of time. So second phase, we did a proof of concept. And phase 3, we have done a pilots. So till today, 109,000 farmers we have facilitated physically 14 milk unions we signed up. Like if I convince a 1 milk union, like a Nandini dairy, 28 lakhs farmers we will get it. 9 banks already partnered, 3 agri-commerce, like Big Hath also signed us, 25 lakh user base. Look, the TAM is 180 billion and 40 billion is the SAM. I just took an agriculture budget of India, this thing. So these are our projections. Assuming that 10% of our order book is executed, conversion rate of 15 to 30%, and average ticket size is 75K. So we consider a commission of 0.8%. Currently, many of my banking partners are sitting here. They're paying much more than here, and we have a very good relationship. So, and TSP rates of 200 rupees. Still, we get a 28.6 crores revenue this year, and next year 90.6 crores. And we use the leverage. Like we cannot build all these projects on things. So we taken the help of IASC, World Economic Forum. They are funding us, and we built all this technology. So we have a technological differentiation which is 10x superior than anyone, and networking effects, and ours is a platform thing. And we have a patent technology, like by giving a land coordinates itself, we fetch all the details. Like, and we also have an algorithm, trusted, async creditworthiness in a trusted relationship network. So every artificial intelligence company works, right? They do spend 80% of their time in calls for getting a data. We solve that. We have a data, 80 plus data, and text-free vernacular thing. So proactive alerts and automatic renewals, and everything is seamless. And also major thing, right? We want to create a win-win scenario for our bankers also to get a higher ROA. We are giving it and share. The bankers get 8.5% only for the cases thing. We are giving them 13.5% and helping them in costs, all those things. So my product is the resume of the team. We have assembled a great team who are part of unicorns and sunicorns, and they already demonstrated their thing. So my ask is 3 to 5 million. So I want to do a banking integration, neo-banking stack, team building, and scaling agri-loans, tech enhancement, and Fin checkout. So I signed with the 60 plus e-commerce things and other vendors. So I need to create a Fin checkout. And whatever the money, right, it's invested by me. And so I got some grants, and I'm now co-working with this governments. And NABARD for building a scale of finance, they are funding me to build an entire application, 8 lakhs. And yesterday also, I'm in discussion with the Madhya Pradesh, all these governments, to replicate what I have built in the other states. So, product and agri-stack, it goes 45%, research and development 5%, sales and marketing 15%, operations 15%, 20% for this thing. Join our mission to empower 14 crores farmers. Together, let's make a financial inclusion a reality. So, this is my thing. Over.
Thank you, Team Finclass. So we have our pitch number 9 in the readiness now, because we have the next round of scoring immediately after that. So without further ado, I would like to invite PayQ, or Rocket Pay Private Limited, a cross-border payments app. And we have Mr. Jitendra Singh and Bhagwati Nyopane, the founders of Rocket Pay, here with us. Can we please give them a huge round of applause?
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Jitendra Singh. I'm representing Payko. So like what and how we are doing at Payko is we are trying to build in a cross-border utility and payment solution for immigrants overseas. So first thing when we started came to our mind was what is in it for us. So first thing is, like we will share the story how it started in second slide. But before that, we find out that there is no company which is offering solution cross-border for utility thing. There are companies offering payments, but no company is offering utility. And also payment which companies are offering are from US, UK, or some of the European countries. So like Southeast Asia, there is no company. Then these were the problem which we highlighted, multiple apps for multiple locations. So since any NRI who is doing transactions, so he would be using app in US, app in India, and in between bank transfers. Then there is a problem that higher cost fees transaction is 12 to 18% depending on the utility, and also there is a cross-currency conversion. So roughly it takes minimum side 4 to 5%. And complicated and lengthy procedure for fund transfers, utilities, and everything. No technical upgradation when it comes to developing and underdeveloped countries. Then we found out with our solution that we are first federated app for all these payment-related solutions, which includes utility and payments cross-border. Not only that, it will be having add-on features which will help our customers to be more like easy on financial solutions. So we are all in one single solution, affordable transaction, hassle-free, quick and easy, and advanced technology would be part wherein like new markets would be coming up, developing and underdeveloped countries. So this is what like we are now. We are empowering immigrants and disrupting fintech and utility payment space. We are like pioneer. We are the first company offering these solutions. And we are like empowering immigrants on affordable financial services and solutions. And we have like support from industry partners, which are Prabhu Bank and Red Leaf Capital, which is like investment company in Canada, having presence in US, Europe also. And we have institution partners like SPJ and IM Kozhikode as supporting and guiding us and mentoring us. So like much.
Hello everyone, I am Jitendra Singh. I am married to a beautiful woman from the beautiful country of Nepal. So half of my family is located in Nepal only. But today I want to share a different chapter of my life. You see, I grew up as a cantonment child, and I carry rich values and culture of army background deep within me. In 2015, there was an earthquake in Nepal, so my wife wanted to send some money to Nepal urgently, but unfortunately sending money to cross-border was not an easy task. Then we started to find the solution for this problem. Then in 2019, we started Payko, which is a cross-border utility platform, and we can proudly say that we have cut down the cost of utility bill payment. In 2020, I and Jitin started the discussion and wanted to collaborate. We shared our ideas and thoughts, and we realized we shared common interests and shared vision to start something great. This was then we started working together to make Payko bigger and better. Today at Payko, we are on a mission to revolutionize cross-border utility and payments. We are working tirelessly to simplify financial transactions and make life easier for immigrants globally. Join us as we continue to grow, and we need your support, and together together we can make this bigger. With your support, we are shaping the future of cross-border convenience at PayQ. Thank you.
So this is how our app works actually. So registering, downloading and registering is easy, three-step formula. Then like transacting cross-border, so we started our operation in Nepal. So it's live in Nepal, utility payments are live. So this is how like very easy and simple, you just need to pick up the service, just need to fill in the amount, just need to like proceed with the transaction and it is done instantly. So it is cross-border utility done instantly. So this is first of its kind solution. So if we talk about product development stage, we have already done step one, which is like we are live with 5,000 plus downloads, and we have more than 4,000 plus active users on our platform. And Indo-Nepal utility is live. So next step is to like start Indo-Nepal fund transfer. We have done tie-up with Prabhu Bank in Nepal. So for that, we just need to do the API integration. Then third stage, we need to launch our services in GCC countries like Gulf and Middle East, then US and Canada. After that, each 6 to 8 months or 6 to 9 months, we would be launching our services in newer market. So this is like how we are proceeding further. And if we talk about our current traction, so we have I just mentioned that we have 5,000 plus users, we have 4,000 plus active users. And we have, in last 3 years, done a small business though, but we were trying to like understand how better we would be able to offer our services. So we were just kind of implementing and studying the market. So we are gaining customer over like these few months. We are getting 2 to 3 customers on daily basis without any promotion or marketing kind of activity. So if we see the market is expected to be 556 to 936 billion by end of 2030. Last year it was around 190 plus billion. So we are expecting that if we take the lowest possible number or they simplify these things in a way that we would be able to achieve in next 5 to 7 years. So we are targeting that 2 to 3 billion is the roughly number which we would be able to achieve. And if we talk about income milestones, so we are targeting 6.5 million in 2 years and 12.3 million in 5 years. So global immigrants are around 272 million. Indian immigrants are globally around 35 million, and Nepali immigrants are around 10 millions, roughly across border. They stay across borders. So I'm Jitendra Singh. I have 18 plus years of banking experience, and I was handling trade and foreign exchange for the banking. I've worked with multiple banks. Like majority of the work was with HDFC and Yes Bank for around 15 years. And I'm also an author, and I expertise in cross-border transactions, governance, and compliance. So this is the areas which I look after. Santosh is from banking background again. He have 12 plus years of banking experience in retail segment, wherein he was majorly into acquisition and customer dealing. And Ragini, she is CS by qualification. She is helping and supporting us in terms of like compliance related to companies. And we have 2 wonderful mentors, Mr. Jay Salan and Mr. Anshul Kumar. So they are guiding us on banking and data side of the business. So we kind of get support from these people. And not only them, we now have IM Kozhikode team and SPJIMR team. They are wonderful mentors. They are supporting and guiding us. And in these 3 months, we can say, they have taught so many things to us, and now we are prospering further. So if we compare ourselves with other players, we have taken fintech players who are dealing in local like markets as well as global markets. So bank, if we see, they are doing local and global transactions both. Players like PayPal, they only do international transactions, fund transfers. So they are present in 2 space, and we as a PayQ, we are present in almost all the 4 major segments of the business cross-border, which is utility locally, utility globally, payments locally, and payments globally. So this is the rough snapshot of 5-year progress, which we are looking forward to, and fundraising, which we are trying to raise. So we are asking for 4 crores as in for majority of the expenses would be towards marketing, employees, and deposits with the bank for faster transaction, IT infra, and office expenses. So if we roughly calculate these numbers on a considerable side, so we are taking 2% of the total population which we would be acquiring in these duration. And out of this 50%, we say a customer would be doing their transaction with us. Still, we would be able to do these numbers. So these are on a considerable side, which we can do in these years. And also, we have taken the income from these customers on a very lower note, like 250 rupees per transaction per customer. So still, we would be able to manage these profits. So this is all about us. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Rocket Pay. Investors, we now have our round 3 of voting, which is live. If I may request you all to please log into menti.com and put in your scores. It will take a minute or so to display the same. So just to remind you, we'll be starting with the voting for Splendor first, which was pitch number 7, followed by Finclass, which was pitch number 8, and finally Rocket Pay, which was pitch number 9. Yeah. नहीं. So we have the scoring live for Finclass now. If you all can please put in your scores. We're done with about 16 votes. Is there anybody still remaining to put in the scores? Yeah. Moving on to pitch number 9. We now have Rocket Pay live. Requesting all the investors to now please vote for PayQ or Rocket Pay. Okay, so now we're finally into the last leg of pitches 10 to 13. And we have with us Light Fin for pitch number 10, and I would like to invite Mr. Jagannath Rao and Mr. Nageshwar Prasad presenting the startup, which is on personal finance management. Please give them a huge round of applause.
Regarding the slides, yeah, and you can let me know when to play the private demo. I'll be
Sure.
ready.
You want to start it? Yeah, let's start this. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Jagan, I'm the CEO of LightFin. So before I start the presentation, let me thank Manoj, Manali, and the entire Finovate team for the wonderful execution of the Finovate program. And I would also like to thank the mentors who have been really helpful during the program, helping the startups in various startup aspects. So let me start with the presentation. So LightFin, we are a personal finance management company. So let us look at the problems that we are addressing. Because of the low financial literacy in India, most of the individuals doesn't understand how to manage their finances. So what is to be done with their income, what is to be done with their expenses, they are really not aware of that. Whether someone is a salaried person, whether someone who has started a career, or someone who is a retired person, they do not know what is to be done with their savings, what is to be done with their expenses, how to control all of this. So what are the challenges that we face because of that? There are low savings, low investments, and we see high credit card use, high outstanding loans, and lack of knowledge in budgeting the financial goals, and wrong advice from unqualified sources. We have seen this more prevalent post-COVID. People end up in wrong hands and lost a lot of money. So these are the problems that LightFin is addressing. Using account aggregator system, if someone is having multiple bank accounts, so we consolidate all of those at one place, whether it's bank accounts, investment accounts, credit cards, loans, we bring everything to one place. We give a consolidated view of their income and loans at one place. Next, we categorize the income and expenses into different buckets. So how much you are spending for shopping, entertainment, travel, we put them in different buckets and do the analytics on that. So we tell them where they are spending, how much they are spending, whether the expenses are on an increasing trend or is it on a decreasing trend. And not only that, the main aspect of LightFin is that using AI and machine learning, we provide personalized recommendations on what is to be done with the surplus amount and what is to be done with the expenses. So this helps in increasing the savings and reducing the expenses. There are tools which tell us what is my income, what is my expenses, and the trend. But most of the tools doesn't tell us what is to be done with that. That's where LightFin comes in. We provide personalized recommendations. And our model is that we work with the banks and financial institutions like mutual funds, insurance companies, where through the banks and financial institutions, we'll be reaching out to the customer base. So the advantage is that we can reach out to the huge customer base, and the banks and financial institutions can provide the customer insights through LightFin. And what's the benefit to the banks and financial institutions? We provide the recommendations of their financial products, which actually help them in cross-sell and upsell of their products. Let me explain with an example. Say someone, say HDFC Mutual Fund or HDFC. So we can provide the recommendations of HDFC Mutual Fund or personal loans that actually helps them in revenue growth. Just going quickly back to the recommendations. Take an example of someone who's having a credit card outstanding of 3 lakhs. So they'll be paying more than 42% per year. But our recommendations will tell them that instead of paying 42% interest, why don't you avail personal loans, which helps you save more than 50% of the interest. Similarly, how many people really understand that insurance is very important for anyone? If our analysis finds that someone is not having insurance, it provides the recommendations. Similarly, on the surplus, someone is having monthly surplus of say 30,000 to 40,000 in their bank account in the last 6 months, and the amount is lying in the savings account. It gives us just 3.5% to 4% per annum. Our recommendation says that why don't you park those amounts in better return yielding instruments, which actually give more than the returns that they're getting in savings account. Along with all of this, we also have GST analysis, which gives detailed analysis of the purchases, sales, suppliers, and customers, which helps the SMEs in getting more insights about their sales and purchases. Can we have the product demo quickly?
Welcome to lightfin.net, the road to financial freedom. Welcome to the login portal. Choose to log in or register. Mobile number consent request. Enter your mobile number and send request. Then receive an OTP for authentication. Select your bank account to share. Once authenticated, need to verify the selected bank accounts. Consolidated view of deposits, account balance, credit card due, and outstanding loans. Track and categorize expenses effortlessly, gaining insights into spending habits for better financial management. Shows the analysis of monthly and yearly balances, monthly salary for the 12 months, monthly income and expense report for the 12 months, and the monthly investments. We can look at the multiple bank statements at one place. We can look at the credit card due information and the statement. We can look at the term deposits and recurring deposits information. Recommendations. Based on the data analysis, the system gives recommendations on what is to be done with the monthly surplus, what is to be done with the expenses, and what is to be done with the investments. GST analysis. The SMEs can have a detailed look at the GST analysis. View summary of sales, debit and credit notes, and total GST liability for each GST return at a glance. Explore different ways to understand and analyze GST, helping you make sense of tax details and financial aspects. Thank you.
So as you have seen, everything is authenticated by OTP. So everything is by consent. So complete security, we use the account aggregator system implemented by RBI. So we use that system to do that. So because of that, we have the complete security. When it comes to the business traction and size of the market, the Indian fintech market, will be reaching around $1 trillion TAM by 2025. We are looking at that kind of space. And when it comes to the revenue potential for Lightfin, even on a conservative basis, we can look at 10 to 25 crores of revenue with healthy EBITDA margins, even with around 30-35 in banking and financial institutions. That is the potential of the revenue. And the business traction as of today, we have done few proof of concept with few of these chartered accountant firms, few wealth advisory firms, and few MSMEs. So myself, around 26 years of experience in ITS, BPO, and worked for a few organizations like PwC, JP Morgan, and Ernst & Young. And I have a chief technology officer who worked as chief architect at Mint.com, which is the top personal finance management company in US. So he brings on the idea and the technology aspects. As of today, we have done the analytics part, the recommendations part. Now we are started working with the banks and financial institutions, not only in India, across the globe. When it comes to the comparison with the competitors, most of the competitors, as I was telling you, they are into analytics, but we are into recommendations along with analytics. And most of the models are into B2C and B2B, but we are into B2B2C. We feel that that is the more scalable model. And the fund ask and utilization, this is the second round of funding that we are asking for. The last round of funding was around 1 crore, and the current ask is 1.5 crores of ask. We'll be utilizing the amount for the technology. We plan to add more features like income tax return analysis, budgeting and goal setting, and many more other features, and add more technology to that, machine learning and artificial intelligence to that. So that is about Lightfin. Thanks for the opportunity. Welcome.
Thank you, Team Lightfin. We now have our pitch number 11th for the day, and I'd like to invite Mr. Lingaraj Mahanan and Harshit Jain from Credor. And this startup is into the world of trade finance. Can we have a round of applause for them, please?
Sorry?
You can let me know when to pay. I'll be here only and just.
I didn't get your point. What did you say?
You can let me know when to pay the private.
No problem. Okay, okay.
For navigating the sites.
Okay. Well, I can do it from here as well.
As you
wish. Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Lingaraj Mahanan, and I'm founder of the startup Credor. So, Credor is a fintech startup that provides a paperless IT infrastructure for financial supply chain management stakeholders. And so there's a team behind Credor. Like, my name is Lingaraj, and I am into this software development since 15 years. And I started my career with investment banks. I worked for HSBC, BNY Mellon, and Barclays. And after quitting my corporate jobs, I started to work for the fintech startups. And Mr. Harshit Jain is he's our mentor, and he's also in our board, his board of director as well. Credor's journey started when there was a competition held by Ministry of IT and Electronics for an idea challenge competition. And in that competition, we pitched about a kind of solution that would fill the trade finance gap that the MSMEs are facing across the globe. And we are backed by like Paddock Ventures, FinNovate, Accelerator, and Kit.ai. And we raised a small angel fund from Paddock and Winners. And Government of India entity, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology Startup Hub, they have also invested in our company. And Startup Odisha has given a small grant to our company. And we have also won one global hackathon competition that was held by XTC Foundation. So we are all aware of the fact that MSME sector is the backbone of Indian economy, not just Indian economy, but any economy across the globe. As per a study by Asian Development Bank, they published that study a month ago. And in that study, what they have published is that the trade finance gap has increased to around $3 trillion post-pandemic. And the day when we started our journey with Credor, we did some primary market research and secondary market research. During that time, we got to know that the trade finance gap was around $1.7 trillion across the globe. But after pandemic, it has increased to $3 trillion. So there are various regions that have resulted in a scale of that gap. For example, the overwhelming complexity that we have in the cross-border transactions that are happening, like a lot of paper-heavy documentations that are involved, and many stakeholders are involved, not just the importer and the exporters and the banks and the financial institutions, but there are other stakeholders are also involved. And due to document overload, many of the MSMEs are not able to avail the kind of working capital they are looking for to fulfill their business operations, to enhance their, to increase their business opportunity and all. So, we did some primary market research by involving many of the banks, financial institutions, and importer-exporters from India. And there are certain things that we have found out is about the kind of strengths that the banks and the financial institutions are having. They have the expertise on the trade finance space. They have many competitive product ideas, but the kind of product they're planning to launch, it is not creating the kind of profit which they're looking for. On top of that, they have a very huge competition from the open account specific use cases. Open account is very good. That is something provides a way by which the importer exporters, they find very cost effective trade finance deals to get into open account from the letter of credit. But it has its own challenges. The major challenge is that there's a risk of importer not paying to the exporter once the goods are being delivered in the importing country. And there are certain opportunities that I want to highlight. That is something we got to know after having spoken with many stakeholders who are involved in the cross-border trade. For example, one of the major opportunity I could see is the kind of geopolitical events that are happening. So that is actually creating a very huge opportunity for the banking space and for the financial institution and for the importer-exporter, that in case we get into a kind of digitalized platform wherein the things could be processed in a paperless way, so that will not just increase the velocity of the revenue that the banks, financial institutions are having, are expecting, but the velocity of the revenue will be increased for the importer and exporter as well. And this pandemic that have happened, so that has actually given an opportunity to all the stakeholders to shift towards paperless infrastructure. And there's a very good opportunity for the banking and the insurance sector to come up with very good products that will be very helpful for the industry and for the business revenue as well. And there are certain threats in case the banks and all the stakeholders, they would not get into this kind of paperless infrastructure, then for example, the countries like Dubai and Singapore, they are already far ahead in adopting the kind of infrastructure they need to make the cross-border trade paperless. And on top of that, okay, so I'd like to highlight one more thing. In July, UK Electronic Trade Bill Act was passed. And the first act was passed at around 1882. And that is something to do with the kind of regulatory policies, the kind of paper documentation that is supposed to be in place for the cross-border transactions. So in 1882, we were not having internet and computers. So based on that, they came up with the kind of policies and the regulatory policies that all the countries will follow while doing the cross-border trades. But this pandemic that has happened, that actually given that expedited the pass of the bill, the UK Electronic Trade Bill that was passed in July, wherein the paper documentation could be recognized by around 14 countries in an electronic format. And until now, just one transaction has done after that bill was passed. And there are 5 factors that makes a specific paper wherein that could be represented in an electronic format. First factor is that the electronic documents should be distinguishable from the photocopies. Like we can have multiple photocopies of one document, like PDF copies and all. Second factor is that, like in case that the person who holds that specific electronic document or the owner of the electronic document, he should be able to write. He should be able to have some rights, or they can exercise some controls on that specific document on which they have the rights. In case they have transferred the ownership or the title of the document to someone else, then they should be deprived in having exercised any control on that electronic document. And fourth is that, like only one person or only one group of entities should be able to prove the ownership of that specific electronic document. And fifth is that we should be able to, the document should not get modified unless the authorized people have given permission to do so. So like in a day, around 2 billion papers are being used, globally for moving goods from one country to another country. And for a single trade, 36 paper documents are being used, and around 200 photocopies of those paper documents are being used. So this electronic bill that was being passed is very instrumental in improving the kind of cross-border trade systems that we have right now. So these are the features that Credor provides. Export factoring is one of the solutions that we have developed. And we are following certain standards that ICC, global ICC, they have started with. That standard is Digital Standard Initiative. And it is also incorporated a standard that is something to do with Global Legal Entity Identifier. As a citizen, we have the passport. We can go to any country and we can have our identity recognized by that country. But we don't have that kind of system for the entities who are into business. So Global Legal Entity Identifier provides that kind of system wherein they can do business with anyone, any country. That country will be able to recognize the fact that it's from that country. They are into this kind of business. They have the history of this businesses, whatever revenues they have generated yet. And in turn, not just the business they will be able to do with other country, so they can have the financiers who can lend, who can provide them the kind of working capital they need from across the world. So yeah, so since we are moving towards paperless IT infrastructure, so it is fulfilling certain like United Nations SDG goals, for example. It is going to provide a better economic growth to the SMEs across the globe, because many of the SMEs are left or they are not given the kind of working capital they need by the banks or many lenders. Since the banks and the lenders, they look for the companies who are having very good credit history, they're not operating in an opaque manner. But in case we provide a kind of infrastructure wherein the MSMEs across the globe, they can create a footprint in case they don't, in case they go away from the opaque kind of transactions they are doing. So that will uplift the kind of economic growth they are expecting. Climate action is there, since paperless will make the transition from cutting the trees to making things digitalized. Yeah, so there are certain competitions that we have. I'm not telling these are competitions. We are working in a very collaborative manner, because the kind of system that we're making, that we have built is something to do with the cross-border, connecting two different countries. So we need to have a system wherein any trade document that we are creating should be interoperable. That could be verified with the systems or the companies they are based out of other countries as well. So NEGO is the first company they have done one transaction, cross-border transaction. Until only one transaction is being completed based on the kind of UK Trade Act bill that was passed. So like when we started this business, so we did some POC. There was not something to do with the kind of platform that we built now, but to know the complexities, the kind of pain points the stakeholders face. And based on that, like we did finance few exporters from Andhra Pradesh by bringing few like export factoring companies from Spain and US. And that got us certain metrics based on which we refined a system. And the product is ready right now. And we are in the process of doing one pilot. We have collaborated with one Singapore-based financier. So they have a fund. They would like to deploy that fund to the trades that are following the Electronic Trade Document Act. And we are also in the process of making Aditya Birla Chemicals working capital platform efficient by having our platform integrated to their existing system which they have. So, and other than that, like we have collaborated with FICCI to have some government approvals for one specific airport and one shipping port wherein the electronic documents could be recognizable. And so that the XTC network could deploy the fund to the exporters who are looking for the like working capital against their invoices. So yeah, thank you. So I have one small product demo, but I don't know whether we have time or not. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Credor. We now have our pitch number 12, the penultimate pitch of the day. And we have with us the Circle app and the founders, Mr. Ankur Yadav and Navan Jaiswal. The app aims to modernize credit for the Indian rental market. Let us have a huge round of applause for them.
Right. Awesome. So we'll start with a quick round of introductions about the team and then move on to what we're building at Circle App.
So thank you for having us here. My name is Ankur Yadav. So during my time at IIT Delhi, I've built two of my own startups, one in the electric mobility domain and the other in a show manufacturing domain. After that, COVID came, so we had to shut shop, so we couldn't scale them up further. Post that, I've also worked with some B schools like INSEAD and Columbia Business School, gained some experience there. And afterwards, I moved on to joining an early stage startup by the name of Expand My Business as part of the founding team. So I used to lead the entire sales department, scale the team from a 5 to a 200 employee mark, and after raising a series of $17 million, we exited last year in April.
So I'm Navan. I come from policymaking background, did political science majors, went on to work with AAP for some time, post that had a short stint with MP government, then did a D2C startup, had to shut down due to multiple reasons. Post that joined IMK to pursue an MBA, but then dropped out of it during COVID to pursue the last company. The last startup, I was building the entire supply chain of the marketplace, and both of us together exited the startup last April, moving on to Circle in the fintech domain as a full-time.
So it's been 17 months since we've been building Circle. During our course, we received a term sheet of 1.6 CR from BCAT. We also got a grant of 50 lakh from IIT Delhi. And after that, we started operations and pivoted in June. And post that, we made a simple and a very convenient observation.
So when we look at the present Indian landscape, what we simply see is how's middle India shaping up. Tier 4, Tier 3 se banda aa raha hai Tier 1 mein, in lieu of better opportunities to make more money for themselves. But what's the trickle-down effect of the same is कि बंदे को रहने के लिए घर चाहिए. And that's where these guys are moving into residential rental properties. And that's where we realize that for India's rental market, there's no modern credit solution. And that's what Circle app aims to build for. Essentially, a parallel would be what Bajaj Finserv revolutionized, how consumer durable renting financing works. That's how we are looking to change how credit for the rental market works. When we talk of the present market landscape, just taking a snippet from 2011 census, we have 162 million Indians living as tenants in urban India itself. The present residential rental flow just itself stands at $140 billion. The market's fragmented between shared and private rentals.
Just to give you a sense of the market.
Yeah, just taking a quick sense of the market, we have a small video from a very popular movie. The move.
मैं तुम्हारे डिपॉजिट से 10 लाख काट रहा हूँ लिफ्ट की रिपेयर के लिए मेरे डिपॉजिट से अब क्या लिफ्ट नहीं इस्तेमाल करते हो ना और मुझे एक्स्ट्रा डिपॉजिट चाहिए 50,000 नहीं तो फ्लैट खाली कर दो लेकिन पता है गैरेज दिया गैरेज मैंने 4 नंबर वाला किराए पे कितना भाड़ा 15,000 कितना डिपॉजिट 1 लाख नहीं दे सकते हो बोलो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है किराएदारों की तो लाइन लगी पड़ी है क्या करते
Yeah, so this is just a sense of the market, what the current traditional rental value chain is happening now. अब इसमें दो पार्टी है अपने, लैंडलॉर्ड और टेनेंट है. हमको ये समझ में आता है, लैंडलॉर्ड लव्स कैश एंड दे वांट हैसल फ्री रेंटिंग. प्यार से पैसे आ जाए, मंथ ऑन मंथ आते जाए. इवेंचुअली द गोल इज टू गेट कंप्लीट रेवेन्यू रियलाइजेशन और रेंटल रियलाइजेशन. एट द सेम टाइम टेनेंट्स, जो कि हम लोग हैं, we hate deposits. We hate giving up huge chunk of our money upfront to a random individual and then getting unfair deductions and not getting it back for 1 month or 2 months. And that is the reason the affordability crisis is getting existing. Now we are disrupting this entire rental value chain with a very unique lending play of rental financing, where what we say, कि यार आपका month on month rent होता है, मैं आपको 12 मंथ्स का रेंट अप फ्रंट डे 1 पे दे दूंगा. 50 ले लो मेरे से, 6 लाख रुपए आज अभी ले लो डे 1 पे, नो लाइबिलिटीज नो रिस्क. टेनेंट को बोलता हूँ यार आई विल इनेबल डिपॉजिट फ्री मूव इन टू दिस प्रॉपर्टी. जो तुम 6 महीना 7 महीना डिपॉजिट देते कुछ नहीं देना, रिलैक्स, जस्ट एंटर एंड जस्ट पे योर रेंट. दैट इज हाउ वी क्रिएट अ विन विन सिचुएशन इन द एंटायर रेंटल प्ले विद द रेंटल फाइनेंसिंग मॉडल. अब ये वर्क कैसे करता है?
So for this, we essentially we approve the profile of the tenant. For this, we do a personal loan on the name of the tenant, which is the lump sum that acts as the upfront rent for the entire rental lease tenure, which can vary between 3 to 12 months. उस tenant के लिए the deal is simple, that he simply now pays his monthly rent in form of EMIs, which essentially act as no cost EMI for the entire rental lease. The monthly rent is equivalent to the exact EMI amount that he has to pay against the lump sum that was provided to the landlord, making it a win-win for both the parties. The landlord gets the upfront money at a certain discount. For the tenant, the rent still stays the same. He has to pay 0 security deposit in our scenario, and both parties are happy.
Now, how do we stay secure in this entire cycle? So, unlike other lenders, they will only know about the default when the default has occurred. 5 तारीख को नैश कटना था, नैश बाउंस हो गया, अच्छा आप कॉल करेंगे, नोटिस देंगे और ये सब चीज़ें. हमारे केस में the entire psyche is very different. It's not just any EMI, it's the monthly rent of that individual, just like a home loan EMI और बिजली का बिल या स्कूल के बच्चों की फीस. People eventually do not deliberately default on these things because they understand it's a very necessary expense for them. Second, very important, in the case मान लीजिए यूजर ने मनाही कर दिया अपना EMI पे करने से, इन आर केस विच इज रेंट, कि मैं रेंट नहीं दूंगा, विच इज अ वेरी अनलाइक सिनेरियो. यहाँ पर वी हैव द कंप्लीट राइट टू एविक्ट द टेनेंट आउट एंड गेट अनदर टेनेंट इन. सो वी हैव अ कोलैटरल प्ले अगेंस्ट द यूजर, अनलाइक अदर लेंडर्स जस्ट गिविंग नोटिसेस एंड डूइंग सम कॉल्स. उसके बाद आता है यूजर ही भाग गया, एंड वी अंडरस्टैंड देयर आर केसेस जहाँ पर यूजर डिफॉल्ट्स और यूजर डिसअपीयर्स. Normal cases में for any NBFC or any lender out there, it's their job to figure out and find the user, locate the user and essentially recover that principal amount from that user back. हमारे केस में we just pass that remaining EMIs to a new tenant. भाई मेरे को 11 महीने रेंट चाहिए था, 6 महीने बंदा नहीं आया, I bring another tenant and that tenant pays me the remaining 6 months का EMI. That is the sort of a sweet spot we get, or the cherry on the cake we get, because we're doing lending in the rental. We can pass rental and get rent from anyone. And last and very not the least, recovery is tough and costly. Finding the defaulter has always been a task, and recovering that principal loan amount has always been a struggle for any lender out there. And we wanted to create a sustainable loan book. That is where, in our case, we find a tenant. In the real estate market, property ढूंढना सबसे tough game होता है, tenant ढूंढना नहीं. Tenant आप कहीं भी ढूंढ सकते हो because the demand supply game drives the market there. And that is
just like drawing a competitive landscape. If you look at the incumbent fintechs, they lend to these same employees, white collars, grey collars, but then they're talking about a smaller ticket size. The LTV is dependent on the borrower. In our case, the LTV is dependent on the landlord. Because we are giving these landlords upfront cash, they always come back to us, and that's where our LTV is extremely high. And the average ticket size, as of course the urban rentals help us, it also booms. In terms of the present business.
The current traction that we have developed, we have created a loan book of around 35 lakhs plus in 60 days of tenure with a team of 4 people, considering us two, with a collateral amount of 4.5 lakhs in against that we were taking as a security deposit of 1 month on our side. The average CIBIL score of the users have been 720 plus. These are pure white collar employees that for a normal fintech to lend to these employees at a certain interest rate is very tough. And the average NIM that we were able to extract out of this entire loan book was north of 21%. So that was the average NIM we were able to play it out because we are playing in the rental game. So there's no set in stone price. We are not selling loans. We are selling properties. We are selling rent, and we are sitting at the rental transaction cusp of it. So that's why the NIM is so great.
Talking about this was the POC that we did with independent landlords. Now we are essentially using the established players in the market. We are targeting the Zolos, the co-living operators, the property management softwares out there, the listing marketplaces. For them, we are collaborating on a simple model where they are implementing pay with circle option on the checkout page. For this, the tenant simply sees that I have pay with circle. If my profile goes through, I still have to pay the same rent, though my security deposit will be waived off. For the same, we already do a upfront discounting on the landlord's end where we discuss with them, if you take 6 months upfront rent for me, I'll give you a 6% discount on the overall rental. And the same enables a zero-cost EMI format for the tenant.
So the current POC that we've done right now is in Gurgaon. We are now scaling as an embedded pure fintech play by partnering with these players. We'll be going live with Zolo Stays and CoLive and Rent OK, which is a co-living aggregator, by the month end and mid next month across Mumbai and Gurgaon both. And probably by the end of the quarter, we'll be partnering with No Broker with Mr. Saurabh backing us.
Right. So that's how our GTM looks like. As step 1, we did the POC. As step 2, we are partnering with the existing players in the market, giving them upfront cash. And next step is to go with these listing marketplaces where the landlord, when is listing the property, they simply see that I can get upfront cash with Circle. They request us. And if their tenant's profile goes through, we give them upfront cash. This is our underwriting, our algos, which we're building over time on the side. So that's what Circle about. Thank you so much.
We are raising around 750K USD purely to get a runway of 12 to 18 months. And we don't have funding slide right now, but we'll be happy to share that.
Lump sum figure of is that we earlier raised 50 lakhs and a 2CR term sheet from VCAT. Now we are raising a 750K round. We already have commitments from 100K USD from senior angels in the fintech space. And now we'll be going the fundraise cycle.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for having us.
Thank you so much, Team Circle app. We now have our final pitch for the afternoon, and I invite Team Dhan Shakti, Mr. Umesh Kalantri and Mr. Tushar Belwal, who are the founders. Can we please have a round of applause for them?
It's on. It's on. Navigating the sites, and you can let me know when to play the product. I just switch the sites. I'll just be here. Yeah.
Hello everyone. I'm Tushar from Dhan Shakti, where we are building fintech for farmers. So Naveen from Finclass already gave us a good, perspective of what's happening in the rural area with farmers. And we will talk about what Dhan Shakti is specifically doing. I'll talk about the problem statement, what we've done about it, what we've achieved over the last 7 months, and then Umesh will come and present our ask for the investors here. That is a poster from one of our rural ad campaigns in Maharashtra, which basically says, I don't pay my EMIs, my cow does. I will get to that. But first, the problem statement. So in India, agriculture is ancient.
and agriculture is huge. And in India, agriculture has ancient and huge problems. Since independence, governments have been keeping agriculture tax exempt. They have priority sector mandates, huge subsidies, but farmer distress is a continuing reality. And we at Dhan Shakti believe that the biggest reason for that is almost 90% of our 150 million plus farmers are what we call marginal farmers. They operate on farm sizes of less than 10 hectares. And because of that, they do not have a reliable, a sustainable form of income. At Dhan Shakti, that is what we are trying to do. We're trying to create a salary-like income source for farmers, especially the marginal farmers, an income source which is very dependable and regular. And to do that, we are creating a phygital ecosystem, and the problems that we are solving are very hard ones, and those of cost, risk, and customer focus in agri-finance. So how are we doing that? The first step is whatever we finance essentially has to be income generating for the farmer. It is not like a Kisan credit card which is created and the government has no idea where that money is being used. That is not how we are doing it. And we are doing it in 3 ways. The first is our focus is on farming, on dairy farming. Dairy farming is a very unique agri-commodity in India. We are the world's largest producer. We are also the world's largest consumer, and we consume it all year round. And that gives us a year-round demand and very good rates which ensure profitability. Then we have the most important part of our model is the anchor partner. So we engage other partners in the dairy ecosystem. We do not directly go to the farmer. We engage with the partner who directly benefits from increase in milk production or milk procurement. That becomes our anchor partner. We'll talk about them a little more. And then leveraging technology. Agriculture in India works almost the same way it worked 30, 40 years back. I have been on the field for the last 18, 20 months, and it was really eye-opening to me that how the marginal small farmers, how the business of agriculture actually goes on. There is huge opportunity to implement technology in India Agri. So what are the core issues and how are we looking at them? The first one is cost of doing financial services in the rural sector. The first one is the cost of customer acquisition. You cannot leverage digital the way you can do it for an urban customer base, students or businessmen who are operating in the urban. Everything, languages change every 100 kilometers and the way of understanding any proposition changes. So cost of customer acquisition is extremely high in the rural. And then is the cost of collections. If your loans go bad in rural, that is the end of it. Distances are huge. You cannot just go into a village and repossess any commodity that you financed. And there is a whole social structure which makes collections impossible. How are we looking at it? So we get in our anchor partner. An anchor partner is someone who is like buying milk from the farmer. He might be involved in other aspects of the dairy chain. So the anchor partner brings in all our customers. The anchor partner is already working in these villages, creates a list, profiles them, and brings them to us. Second is the cost of collections. All our collections happen from the anchor partner. We do not do the collection from the farmer. So that is how we get rid of these costs in our model. Then is the risky customer profile. Most of our customers have minimal documentation. There is no documentation which kind of shows you what is their annual income, monthly income. Collateral is very difficult. There'll be a small plot of land which is named to like 8 or 9 people. And our approach to this is, the first is our partner guarantees the loan or the service that we are giving to them. So the second is our customers are only the women of the house. and the men of the house become co-borrowers, and the loan is then guaranteed by the partner. And the third is deduction at source. Whatever is the income generated by the farmer, our EMIs are deducted at source, and then the money is transferred to the farmer. And the last one is the product design or the customer focus part of it. No one is right now designing financial products for the marginal farmer. It is taken up as a very low priority for most of the bigger financial institutions who would rather buy someone else's priority sector book than go out and build their own customers. So we'll talk about one of our products, which is called Kamdhenu, cattle loan, and you'll see how we've designed it. So it reduces friction points for the farmer and also creates repeat customers. So this is Kamdhenu, which is our cattle loan product, and I'll just walk you through on how it works. So it starts with, so I mentioned Promethean, who's one of our anchor partners. So it starts by Promethean giving us a list of farmers in a specific village. Our agent, a Dhan Shakti agent, goes to that village and helps the farmer create the loan application. A lot of verification happens in that step. And then we finally use, we have our own farmer-focused credit scoring mechanism. We call it the Kisan Credit Score. We use that, process the loan, and disburse it. Now, once the loan is disbursed, so this is an example. These are like real-world numbers. So a farmer buys a cow that yields 10 liters of milk per day. Cost of the cow is 60,000 rupees. The farmer contributes 20,000. The Dhan Shakti loan is 44,000, which includes processing charges, cattle loan, borrower term insurance, and things like that. So this loan creates a EMI of 2,900 for 18 months. Now the farmer is under obligation to sell this milk to our partner every day. And based on that, the farmer selling 10 liters generates an earning of 10,500 rupees for the month. And this money is paid to the farmer on a 10-day cycle. So every 10 days, they will, before making that payment to the farmer, they'll deduct our money and give it to us. And I think, skip, can play the video? So this video will walk you through on how the loan application till disbursal is done.
Welcome to this walkthrough of Dhan Shakti's customer onboarding and loan disbursal for Kamdhenu cattle loans. Each customer's journey begins when they have been referred to us by our partner and an agent makes a field visit to their residence and starts their application process. Customer registration and loan application is done on the agent's mobile app, where all the required permissions and consent are taken using an OTP mechanism. This app records multiple data points, including KYC, geotagging of residents, and around 30 other socioeconomic data points to create a risk rating for the customer. Once the agent has completed the application form and filled out all mandatory fields, he can submit the application for a credit officer review.
Pause. Presentation. I think in interest of time, I'll skip the video. This is a report card of what we've done over the last 8 months. We launched our pilot in Latur and Osmanabad districts of Hyderabad. I relocated to, not Hyderabad, Maharashtra, I relocated to Osmanabad January this year, and I've been there. Over this time what we've done is we've registered 1,000 customers, all coming from Promethean. We have sanctioned 944 out of those loans, which is a very high rate of approval. And we have disbursed 291. It's actually 312 today. The huge gap between sanction and disbursal is because we give out the loan only once the cattle purchase has been verified. If that is not verified, we wait. We say, go, find cattle, pay your advance, and then we'll give you the loan. So there are 944, some 700 customers who are still looking for cattle. So the total amount we've disbursed is 1.5 crores. And the last 10-day EMI deduction was at 316,000. Our first 10-day EMI deduction was 8,000 rupees. So over the last 8 months, it has gone up to 316. And I will bring it to the Ask slide, and I'll ask our CEO, Umesh, to quickly present this. Thank you.
I think we have run out of the time. So we are here to raise a 25 crore kind of fund, out of which 1.5 crore goes towards tech development, wherein we have already created our LOS, LMS. We want to create machine learning and data science kind of thing. So that goes towards 1.5 crores, and 1.5 crores goes towards my operation cost, and remaining 1.5 crores is something which we keep as an NBFC license. We are in process of acquisition of one NBFC, and we have already started lending from that NBFC. The portfolio has been created till now, 1.5 crores. We are at a NIM of 23% and a spread of 7%. But if we take a cost of 12% as an cost of finance. The remaining fund will be used 9 to 10 crores towards BC lending, where we are in talks with Kotak in Yes Bank, wherein we are keeping 10% as a margin, and the remaining funds come from them. So 100 crores kind of book we are expecting. Still we keep our expectation low, saying that if 20% margin also they take, we will be doing 50 crores. And then 11 crores, which is we are utilizing for our own book, which will be 15 crores. So that's with the current infrastructure which is available as it is.
So as we wrap up our last pitch for the day, I would first like all of you to have a huge round of applause for all the startups, all the startup founders. And I'm really grateful to all the investors. I know it's been a long day, but I'm so thankful to you all. We'll just be moving in with our final scoring round before we proceed further. So I'd again request all of you to please log on to menti.com for the final round of voting for the pitches number 10, which was Lightfin. So we would now move on to the scoring for pitch number 11. This was Credor. It's live now. You can please vote. Okay, so we now move on to pitch number 12, which was Circle, the Circle app. moving on to the final startup, which was Dhan Shakti, the final pitch. Pitch number 13. We have the scoring live for Dhan Shakti right now. Just a gentle reminder for all our investors to please hand over the filled pink slip to one of my colleagues who would be soon coming towards you. The pink sheet. As we move to the final leg of the day, I would like to express my gratitude and thank the 3 mentors without whose support this event would not have been as successful. And I would like to invite Mr. Sunil Bhatia to please hand them over a token of gratitude from us. I would like Mr. Mrinal Singh, our leadership mentor, to please come on the stage. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Shashank Jain, a functional mentor. The last but not the least, Mr. Santosh Kumar, our entrepreneurship mentor. As we collate the results, Sunil, would you like to share a few words?
Yeah, I will do that actually. I will. So first and foremost, congratulations to all the companies who came in. My actually blood rises. And I feel very, very good if I'm in with all the entrepreneurs. So it was a fantastic day for me. I flew in last night from Singapore. Just 2 days ago, I came from California. So I was like jet lagged and should I do a Zoom, not do a Zoom? But, I'm so glad I came and, to see all of this. And congratulations to Varun and Manoj and the whole team. And then thanks to all the mentors, because this is the first cohort we are doing, right? And to see the quality of the work that you guys have put in and the quality which is going to come out, I'm actually really, really delighted with it. When Varun and I were first talking about it, yeah, I mean, it's easy to put money into it, but, can you really execute on it? So congratulations to the whole team and all the mentors for doing a phenomenal job. I think that's phenomenal. So I think, again, congratulations to everyone who was here, right? Few comments. See, I do this, and this was my goal, right? Because Y Combinator, most of you probably know this from the Silicon Valley. That's where Varun and I, spend a lot of our time together. So I thought I'll give you just few thoughts as I saw all the presentations, right? So I'll say there are 3 mantras which, I like to follow in my entrepreneurial journey, and I'll just share that with you. First is, you have to think big, think fast, and think innovation, right? So, I would say for almost all the participants who were there, I would urge you to think that, because I saw the TAM, the size of the market. It's 50 billion में कुछ नहीं होने वाला यार, कोई पैसा नहीं डालने वाला है, right? The market size is much, much, much bigger than what you guys are projecting up there. I mean, just for student like WebN, for example, Ishita, I don't know where she is there. So you put some 50 billion as a TAM, Punjab needs nothing, yaar. right? That concept itself is so much more, right? Whether it was Drona or whether it was Wit or, or the PayPal concept that you guys talked about, the market is a lot more bigger than what you are thinking, right? So think big, right? From that perspective, हिंदी में कहावत है ना यार, खुद ही को कर बुलंद उतना कि खुदा भी बंदे से पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है, right? So it has to become at that level is really, where you want to get into, right? So that's the first point which is there. Second is, when you give these pitches, so you're also pitching to the investors here, right? So think of it from our perspective, right? From our perspective, it is quickly tell us what the problem statement that you're trying to solve, why will it work, and then what are the risks and where do you take, how does it scale and where do you take it? So the problem statement I think was there and the solution which was there, but then finally the risks which are there and where will you fail, where are the challenges? Almost nobody talked about that, right? Which, I thought somebody should, my recommendation would be that as you work on your pitches, think through that as well, because, you're pitching to a particular audience and think it from our investors' perspective as well. Does that resonate or not, right? So I would do that. And the last I would say is, in the pitches, you have 10 minutes, right? Just clean out everything in the first 3, 4, 5 minutes, but spend bulk of the time in terms of how this thing is going to scale and where this is going to land up to. I don't think that portion came out. I think the last presenter tried to do that. So I think he came out. Unfortunately, he also ran out of time, but I thought that was something. But overall, very, very impressed with everything that was here, and congratulations to everyone for just being here. I think that says a lot about all of you here. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Sunil. No, just a second. So as we move forward to the result declaration and prize distribution, I would like Sunil sir, Varun sir, and Manoj sir to please be on the stage for the final declaration of results.
Thank you all again. So we are announcing it in the reverse order. This is by no means a reflection of which startup is going to be more successful or not. But we are running a process. All of you have voted on it. We have given slightly higher weightage to what investors perceive about the founder and the idea, and the other two aspects being pitch and, founder and execution, we've given a higher weightage, pitch and idea being the other two. In the reverse order, first I want to call the pitch which is ranking third. That's New Cash, Ashit.
Yes, sir.
And ranking second is Vouch, Krishna and Nitin, please. And the best pitch for the day that has been awarded by the Investor's Choice is Drona Pay. Satish, if you're around. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all once again for being here. Lunch is there. My team will help you to the direct direction. In terms of next steps from investors' perspective, we would be sending a detailed email. But over the next few weekends, between 10 a.m. and 11:30 in the morning, there will be deep dive call scheduled for each of the 13 startups. The pink slip that you have given us gives the details of which one you want to elect for the round 2. We would send you the dial-in invites accordingly. And I look forward to seeing you all in the round 2. Do you want to? Thank you all. And all the best to all the startups.
We have lunch on the 4th floor for all our corporate partners, our startup participants, and all the investors. My teammates would be happy to assist you to the 4th floor. We also have a panel discussion from 2:30 p.m. onwards on Investment 101 and a masterclass from 3:30 later. So in case any of you all is interested to join it, you're most welcome.